about Pritchard leaving. He's that type of players as well. You know, what we do need, we need a different option, especially when you get around that 18-yard box. Rather than trying to play your way in, can we just put the ball in for somebody? Obviously, we're missing somebody of the figure of a Ross Stewart. You know, sometimes we need to mix it up, and we haven't got that option at the present moment.
No, as I say, it appears to be Stansfield, but as yet, I don't know where we are with the actual deal and whether it is going to happen, because, as I say, there are other clubs who are interested, and he's obviously got a premium. I mean, I think I think what you can take it from this, from what you're saying as well, is that if there are a number of clubs looking to try and get him, then, and they're all looking for forward, then that's got to be a positive.
Yeah, it's got to be a positive, but then, you know, you're looking at the way Sunderland play and how we're going to go about it, then you're thinking, well, I just think that we just need another out-and-out striker. I mean,
well, interesting. I mean,
target.
Rotherham have got Hugill up front.
Yeah.
And I think Jay Stansfield is a Hugill sort of player.
Physically.
He's that sort of build. He's not stocky. He's not the tallest in the world.
Well, I know Hugill, and the difference, what I've seen of Hugill, he'll put himself about. He's a big lad. He'll put himself about. He'll let you know that you're in a game. Now, I don't know about Stansfield, if he's that type of player. He might be a player who plays like in maybe a 10 role, or he might even be a player who plays off a striker. You know, he might be, by the looks of it, especially if he's at Fulham, he's going to be one of them players who's clever, got good movement, can get on the end of things.
That is more.
I think that's the type of player he is.
I mean, Exeter gave him the number 9 shirt because of his father. So don't be misled by the fact that he wore a number 9 at Exeter. The reason being that was historical because of his father. But as I say, he's a player that is sought after, and Sunderland are one of a number of clubs trying to get him. I mean, the bottom line is, though, he's not here today. He's not in the team today, and this is an opportunity. I suspect Rotherham will look at this team and think, well, this is an opportunity for us on the back of their start to the season, where they were woefully beaten by Stoke on the opening day, and then last week they drew with Blackburn Rovers. Onyedinma was sent off. He scored, got a yellow card for celebrating the goal. 2 minutes later, he was fouled outside the penalty area. He was on the deck and he was waving his hand to the referee to say, book the Blackburn player. As a consequence, he got booked, and that was 2 yellows, and off he went. So that's the regimes we're living under at the moment. Just to mention, Stansfield's 6'1", so he's no, as I say, he's slim, tall. It's difficult because I've seen him at League One level, playing at League One level.
And you thought?
And he's not an out and out. I wouldn't describe him as an out and out goal scorer, but he is. He has got something.
Yeah, and we got away with it. Well, when I say we got away with it, we found a way last season, especially when we didn't have a striker. We had Ahmed in the team, and you got to say he was special because he's very creative. He formed plenty of partnerships all over the park, and he just grew into the team, didn't he? And when you had him in the team, and the likes of Roberts and your Clark, you knew that we always had a possibility of winning games because we were so clever. The ability which they had now, he was special because he's very creative. Jay Stansfield, that type of player, I don't think he is. Again, Ahmed all over the park, shall we say, a one-off.
I think
grew into the team,
if anyone's going to get the best out of him, it's Tony Mowbray.
When you had him in the team, and the likes
but he
of
has to, because he is only 20 years old and he's still young.
Yeah, he has to. We always had a possibility of winning games because you look at this game today, and so people are thinking, for me, it's a game which is creative. And why I say that is that I don't think he is. Again, you look at the table at the present moment. I think you don't win today. We've got a difficult game that you had against Coventry, but he has to. And then the game after that is Southampton. He has to, which is not easy. So you look at that, and you look at this game today, and so people are thinking, you look at next week. If you come away from Coventry with a point, that's a good point. But then the pressure is back on again at home to Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, just going briefly back to Jay Stansfield. I mean, just another sort of caveat to put to it. At Exeter last season, where he had a good season, part of that was because of who he is and who his father was, and it was his hometown club. and I think that's important because I think he felt at home there, and that was a key for him last season. It's a different ball game altogether, isn't it? To use an old cliche, coming to Sunderland, a club this size, and fitting into the system. So we'll have to wait and see.
But, and again, Nick, you hit it on the head there when you talk about young players. Young players. This is the biggest stage at which some of the young players are playing at. But then this is the biggest stage in regards of supporters watching them playing at. And at times, maybe we might be asking a little bit too much of them in a short period of time. We're expecting them to hit the ground there. It's going to take time. We've seen experienced players. This is taking a long time for them to find some young players. So for young players to come in, it's going to be a shock to the system. And we've seen that with him here, who played here at the opening game of the season. And I felt sorry for the lad. He's a player who's coming to play in a new league, new country, learn a new language, new form of football, style of play, and he's looking around for that sort of experience or even advice, and unfortunately there was nobody there to give him a hand.
Interestingly, bizarrely, after all this talk this season about lack of a striker and last season,
here at the opening game of the season,
Stansfield does arrive.
I felt sorry for the lad,
and they do let them go for one or two lone strikers
new
before
country,
the end of the window.
Learn a new language, new
they
form
could have
football,
5 or 6 strikers on the books,
and
in 2 months' time.
He's looking around 5 or 6, but then you're thinking experience out of the 5 or 6 advice, and how many are going to be regulars, how many are ready for first team football. How many are fit? So out of the 5 or 6, you might be still talking maybe impossible. I felt sorry for the lad.
And they do with Sunderland's show record, or they'll all be 1 or 2 lone strikers.
But it's well highlighted. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that what Sunderland are missing is a striker. And I mean somebody who is a jack in the box, or somebody who can give us something different.
We've got to win.
If we can, rather than trying to play our way in, where we can just put it in, somebody knock it down, and somebody gambles and puts the ball in the back of the net. That's what we're looking for, because we need to get a win. The longer it goes on, mark my words, the harder it comes. And
of course it does, and with a young team as well.
Exactly, and I've been there when we've struggled to win games at the start of the season. And I'll go back to the Laurie McMenemy era. The first 5 games of the season, where we struggled to win a game, to score a goal and things like that. And we had experienced players in the team then. And what happened there was, all of a sudden you're looking around and everybody seems to be, I'll have to look after myself here. Because all of a sudden you felt that pressure on your backs. And that was then. Now, we had experienced players in the team then. So you just imagine if it doesn't, we go back to the Southampton game and you haven't won, there's going to be a lot of pressure.
I'm just having to shield my eyes. It's Rob Mason, Sunderland's club historian, is taking his clothes off.
And what you're trying to say,
the radio.
It's not that bad a sight, man.
He's
got a lovely shirt. There's nothing wrong with that.
You stick up for me, Benno.
There's nothing wrong with that shirt.
I'm getting tortured because I've took my coat off.
There's nothing wrong with that shirt.
Good afternoon.
It's a bit hot at the top of the stairs.
Rob's not in his normal position, so I've had to shorten your microphone.
What's that, a tablecloth?
It is a bit of a tablecloth, isn't it, really?
It's gingham, isn't it? Gingham.
It's red and white. What do you moan about?
Gingham. Very nice red and white check. Very good.
It's too late now. It's too late. You're digging a hole. You're digging a hole.
Moving on. Rob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you. Talking history. Rotherham United, 14
I've got kids as well in the background, so every now and again I'm popping out to
1959.
assist.
I mean, one can read that as a good omen, but this is a.
What's your thoughts on the line? I haven't seen the line.
New game.
I'm not surprised.
Absolutely. Let's hope they don't bolster that record this afternoon, because coming in on the back of what Gary's just been saying with regard to how difficult it gets to win a game the longer you go in the start of a season without a win. But on the other hand, I think we've got to keep some sense of perspective here. We've played 2 league games. We've lost 2 league games by 1 goal in each game. In each game, the opening goal has come from a wicked deflection that's gone against us. It'd be nice for us to have. If not, let's not be greedy and ask for a stroke of good luck. Let's just ask for not having a stroke of bad luck. And then in the game against Crewe, which was lost in on penalties, obviously that was very much a scratch team. In all 3 games, Sunderland have arguably been the better team and played the better football, but we all know that, you know, come the final whistle, you look at the results in the Sunday morning newspaper, it's not going to bother telling you who was the better team. All you're interested in is watch the score, and Sunderland have got to get the result to go with the performance this afternoon. Normally, I think at the start of the season, if you said to any manager in the league, what do you want, a result of the performance, a lot of them actually want the performance. But I think today, after the first couple of games, I think today Tony Mowbray would take the result, even if the performance was a bit scratchy. Yes,
I mean, it's an interesting... I've had a few conversations over yesterday and today about this particular fixture. I've spoken to a few from Rotherham as well, and you know, their point of view is, I think they make no bones about it. They see themselves as the whipping boys of the Championship, and their conversations are largely, when you look at the teams in the Championship, which 3 of these teams are going to finish below us? You know, their whole remit is just to stay in the division.
I mean, last year, if I've not looked this up, but if I remember rightly from the end of last season, I think if Reading hadn't been deducted 6 points, Rotherham would have only actually survived by the 1. They would have escaped, but only 1. It would only by 1 point. It would have been very, very close for them. And you know, they booked their trend of recent years where they've come up from League 1, got relegated, come up from League 1, got relegated, and so on and so forth. And yeah, you know, they're well used in recent years. They're well used to coming to places like Sunderland or Leeds United or other big clubs in the Championship and being very much the underdogs. And I expect they'll respond to being the underdogs. They'll warm to it. They'll rise to the occasion. They'll certainly make it very, very difficult for Sunderland. And if, as in the last couple of league games, if Rotherham actually get the opening goal and they've got something to hang on to and the crowd get edgy, it could become a very difficult afternoon for Sunderland. But young players are not, you know, they're professional footballers. That's part of the territory of being a professional footballer, and if you're faced with that sort of challenge, you've got to find a way around it. Hopefully Sunderland can do themselves and the crowd a favour this afternoon by getting the first goal and going on to win. But you know, that's all wishful thinking. We'll see how it pans out.
Well, I mentioned 14 matches, 1 win, November the 28th, 1959. They are now currently 14 without an away win, and their last away win was November the 8th at Sheffield United. And that now means that no team has gone for longer without an away win in the top 4 tiers of English football.
Yeah, and everybody listening to this is thinking, well, it's bound to happen at Sunderland, because we all know what Sunderland are like for ending people's bad runs. I remember Bristol City coming here last season. I don't think they'd had a penalty for something like 496 days, and of course what happens, they get a penalty 6 minutes into injury time to go away with a point after they'd been largely outplayed throughout the afternoon. That's the sort of thing that happens. Let's just be thankful that there's no former Sunderland players in the Rotherham team this afternoon, because we know what it's like with former players coming to score, as indeed Nathan Broadhead did in the last home league game.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, wonderful afternoon. I mean, in terms of the sun and the warmth, I mean, there is a strong wind. I mean, I don't know how, I never know really how much that affects things down in the bowl of the Stadium.
As you know, when you come around the corners of the stadium on the riverside, it's very, very windy, and my experience is that it can be very windy outside and it's not too bad inside because of the bowl. But on the other hand, once the wind is in, it can't get out and it just swirls, and it becomes very, very difficult for the players. And for a team like Rotherham, who, as you say, come as underdogs, you know, if they could order the weather they wanted, they probably would want it to be windy, particularly if they're able to hit in-swinging corners to big people coming in on set pieces, which could be a vulnerability for Sunderland.
We spoke to Ronnie Moore, the former Rotherham manager, last night on Total Sport. Always a pleasure to see him. He's in fact sat down 20 feet away from us at the moment. Always happy to talk, and he was just chatting about last week's game and the first game of the season against Stoke. They played 3 at the back at Stoke. They went with a 4 at the back against Blackburn last week. Well, they've gone 4 at the back again this afternoon, and it'd be very interesting to see how, or if Sunderland can get in behind, bearing in mind they've named the same team that they named at Preston, and we saw last weekend, you know, how they got in behind time and time again, pulled the ball back, nobody there.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know what Sunderland's game is. Sunderland's game is to try and pass their way through teams, get the ball to the wide men and have the wide men cut in, and sometimes the wide men go outside. But whatever Sunderland try to do, you know, when you're playing against a packed defence, you've got to do it quickly. the longer you take in your build-up, obviously, the happier the visiting team are, because the more time they've got to get behind the ball, the more time they've got to get set. So whatever Sunderland actually try to do this afternoon, once they do get the ball to the wide men, it's got to be speed. And ultimately, as you say, in the game so far, the wide men have often done their job and provided good crosses across the goal, but we've lacked that killer instinct with a natural striker to finish them off. Hopefully Bradley Dack or someone else can get on the end of one and tuck it away this afternoon, or indeed Pierre Ekwer can do what he's done once or twice recently and crack one from distance.
They are Rotherham playing.
I want to see us just looking
giving a
dangerous
debut
from
to their new signing, their record signing.
Looking like
he is on paper Christ, but apparently, who knows? He may well be by the end of the afternoon. You never know. The way things could go. But apparently, it's Christ.
I want to see
Christ, and we don't know if it's Tihi. I've spoken to all the Rotherham lads. None of them know. None of them had a chance to speak to anybody at the club as to the correct pronunciation. Bizarrely, he's been there a few weeks training with them, but still nobody knows how to pronounce his surname. But it is Christ and not Christ, probably for good reason.
Well, yes, we shall see. And I'm not really too good on my biblical references. Perhaps if he's in a tussle with Job, somebody with more biblical knowledge than me might be able to say something appropriate and not offensive to those that are religiously minded.
Benno's working on it now. He's working on that 30-yarder from Christ.
I've got my book out.
He'll bang in the top and he'll go, Christ. Yeah. I can see it now. I can hear it now, I should say.
Well, let's hope he's not noticed as a forward. Let's hope he's not in the game and not really noticed and doesn't do anything to worry us this afternoon.
Well, interesting, he was at Wigan last season on loan. Wigan agreed a deal close to $1 million with Slovan Liberec to sign him, but that fell through because Wigan got relegated. But coincidentally, Max Power tweeted yesterday a tweet about Chris Tihi, that if he plays anything like he did at Wigan, then Rotherham have got a player who they will sell on for a lot more.
Yeah, well, he may be. He's their record signing. The Rotherham fans that are here this afternoon, I'm sure will be very interested to see him. I'm sure the Sunderland fans will be very interested to see him from the point of view of what is a forward that's available in the transfer market that Sunderland might or might not have been interested in. But as I say, the players that concern us this afternoon are Sunderland's players and what they're going to do, much more than Rotherham's players. But you're quite right in pointing him out as a potential danger man, partly because he's going to be such a surprise packet. And as you know, Hugel up front will be a handful that will occupy the central defenders because of his physicality.
While you're here as a historian, I'm going to give a plug to the Sunderland podcast on BBC Radio Newcastle, because this week I caught up with Ray Spencer, MBEs like Benno, adorned with medals. Ray from the Customs House in South Shields, and we were talking about his support of Sunderland. We were also talking about Jeff Brown. Look North, his new play, The Bench, which will be on at the Customs House at the end of September. But that podcast available on the BBC Sounds.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go and see that, because it's on the night. Our game with Cardiff is the Sunday afternoon now, so I'm hoping, all being well, to come down and see Jeff's play at the Customs House on the Saturday before the Cardiff game on the Sunday. We shall see. But yes, Jeff. I've spoken to Jeff a bit about the play. I'm sure it's going to be a big success, and I'd urge people to get along and see it.
And I was told.
Go on.
Yeah, you know what's coming, don't you? Because Benno was invited down to talk to the cast.
Yes.
And about because the play centres around a black player coming to a town, and you can read that town as Sunderland if you so desire. And Benno came down to talk about his experiences and whether they were accurately reflected in the play. I'm told that when Benno met Audrey, his now wife, of course, of many years, when he met Audrey's parents, he didn't want to tell them that he was a footballer. He told them he was a doctor.
I did.
When did they?
You've got enough.
What I want to know is, when did they find out, or have they ever found out that you're not a doctor?
Don't bring the news after all these years, Nick.
I am a doctor.
Are you? Well, you are now.
Doctor of Arts.
You are a doctor of arts. That was not the doctor. That was not the doctor you meant.
Hey. You're not the first.
I said you are joking. No. I'm just wondering, how long did this fantasy go on for?
Well,
are you still living it now?
I think they finally found out when they said, "Oh, there's your doctor." on the pitch.
Yeah. Did you borrow Johnny Waters' white coat to go home in, Benno?
Doctor.
Did you borrow Johnny Waters' white coat to go home in?
Yeah. And his pipe.
His pipe.
I mean, you could have said bus driver. You said doctor.
Well, it's impressive, isn't it?
Hey, not
the things you do to get through the doors.
Not the first. Many years ago, pre World War One, the very, very famous Sunderland goalkeeper L.R. Roos, he used to work in a hospital in London and often pretended to people he was a qualified doctor when he wasn't. So yeah, you see, but you're following in the footsteps there of one of the club's most celebrated personalities, as you have done in more ways than one.
Yeah, but it's funny because we were discussing this on Friday, and we was talking about George Michael when he's pulled up at Wembley, and he's been confronted by the attendant, and he says, "George Michael," he says, "You're not George Michael. You can't come in here."
Well, I mean, I heard.
I did see Jimmy Montgomery and Dick Malone arrive here last season or season before. They pulled up and the steward with the window wound down and looks down and leant in and said, "Yes, who are you?"
Yeah, well, despite being a bit down.
I mean, Jimmy and Dick obviously are two of the great club legends, but if a steward's half their age and might know the names and might know them but wouldn't recognise them, or if he did, would recognise them for what they looked like in 1973, not now, you can see how that happens, but it's still terribly embarrassing when something like that does happen, isn't it? You know, because you are talking there of, you know, legends of the top table of legends, really.
It is, but now, as well as calling Gary Bennett MBE, I'm clearly going to have to call him Dr. Gary Bennett MBE.
Absolutely.
Going forwards. So
Indeed.
if I nick my finger or anything, I'll turn to Gary. He can give me a plaster.
I will.
You can sort.
You write me a prescription before I go, Benno.
Prescriptions.
I'm on strike.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Anyway, there you go. Anyway, that podcast.
Let's hope we don't need prescriptions after today's game. Let's hope we're all happy.
Yeah. Have a listen to Ray Spencer. It was a little bit windy when we did the podcast, but it's some good stories, some very good stories. Which reminded me as well, and you know, both of you know well, Malcolm Bramley, who's the chair of the Senior Supporters Association. He's got a very good interview in the Love Supreme magazine. Again, some lovely stories, including one when he borrowed Charlie Hurley's car to take Charlie's daughter out. Anyway,
it's a great story. And Malcolm's always worth listening to or reading about. I did a big interview with him myself about a year ago for the Back Pass magazine, some people might have heard of, which is a retro magazine. But in fact, that particular interview I did with Malcolm was not about his time at Sunderland, but his time at Derby when he was club secretary to Brian Clough. And Malcolm has an endless fund of great Brian Clough stories, so he's always good crack to talk to, is Malcolm.
Lovely man.
Indeed, yeah, lovely man. And great stories, about Brian Clough and working for him, and so on.
The cut there today.
Someone was also telling me they were in Dumfries. It might have been Ray Spencer actually, and they went to a guest house, and it turned out to be run by Len Asher's daughter.
Yeah, it's just outside Dumfries in a place called Kirkbean, and yes, it's a very posh place. Is Len's daughter's place, just a little bit outside Dumfries.
Wonderful. Look, before we go too far down memory lane. Rob, thank you ever so much.
Cheers,
for
all the best
this afternoon. Nice shirt. Rob back with us on the phone, I think, next Saturday at Coventry. Not much to talk about there, is there, history-wise? Anyway, so Rob Mason, Sunderland Club. Rob will be there, so we'll chat to Rob.
We got 5 votes.
Is it the Coventry Building Society Arena these days?
20%,
I think it still is. So more stories to come next weekend. It's high time. He'll be getting frustrated in the studio to join Colin White. And Colin, we have to congratulate Colin because he's now become the BBC Radio Newcastle sports editor, which begs the question. Official. I wonder if in the interview he told them that he was a doctor to get the job.
No, because we don't condone the practice of telling fibs on air or in BBC interviews.
I beg your pardon, Colin. Fibs? What's fibs?
At the time you weren't a doctor. Thank you, Nick and Gary, for the moment. One of my first tasks is to inform you of the pronunciation of one of the Rotherham players. So Christ TA is how we are going to insist, how I'm going to insist that Nick pronounces Rotherham's New striker this afternoon. He is French, Christ Thiey, but it is Tiehi. It's not particularly easy on the lips.
Yeah, Coventry and Southampton after this. You think, oh my God, I cannot see any points.
There has been a very late goal, actually.
Especially Coventry down there.
Plymouth 1, Southampton 2. Che Adams in the 90th minute. All three of the goals in that game coming in the second half. Nathan Teller gave Southampton the lead 4 minutes into the second half. Ryan Hardy equalising for Plymouth 2 minutes later, but Che Adams looks like he might just have nicked it for Southampton. They have still got injury time to play. Last night in the Championship, Leeds and West Brom drew 1-1. The early game in League One today is still going, but the result is in no doubt. Wigan are 4-0 up at Bolton. Charlie Wyke scoring twice, formerly of Sunderland, of course. His 4th and 5th of the season already, Charlie Wyke. Stephen Humphreys scoring Wigan's other 2. Last night in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest beat Sheffield United 2-1. The former Newcastle striker Chris Wood it was who scored an 89th minute winner from with his head for Nottingham Forest. And in the Scottish League Cup early on today as well, Morton looked like they were going to cause a shock at Ibrox for a while. They took the lead early in the second half, but Rangers scoring a penalty of their own, and then Danilo about 8 minutes later scoring Rangers' second. It has just gone full time at Ibrox as well, so Rangers have scraped through in the Scottish League Cup 2-1 winners over Morton this afternoon. Back to our region, Gateshead are hosting Ebbsfleet United in the National League at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I can just turn down the commentary a little bit because it's not started yet. Non-Sunderland though, how are you feeling about today? Non-Sunderland, typical we would drop points today, would be Coventry. Hello, how are you doing, Hans?
Too bad, mate. I just heard your voice pop into there.
It is, and good afternoon to you, Colin. Absolutely marvellous day here up at Cross.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Incredible. I've just had a word with the groundsman and said to him, hey, the pitch is as good as I've seen for a long time. Yes, Blythe Spartans, tough game against Hereford. I was here the last game of the season when Blythe had to win and Hereford weren't really bothered mid-table, and Blythe beat them 5-0.
You were chatting away. Are you live now?
Today, Colin, but Blythe have had a real good start. I mean,
yeah, I'm live now.
From 3 games. I mean, Graham Fenton, I bumped into him. He's really, really pleased. I'm
live now with Sweep Me Cat.
They've got to make Croft Park a bit of a fortress. I mean, the last 4 years, Blythe have really struggled.
He knows when I'm on live, this cat like, wouldn't you? He just sits right in front of us. Now, what good is that? Eh?
Mid-table, pushing forward, maybe for the playoffs.
What good is that? I can't see the viewers, and the viewers can't see me. What's going on?
Which would push them into a playoff position, Colin.
Fingers crossed, and it's the 2 JJs.
Come on, you.
Certainly, JJ O'Donnell, who's been there for a long time. JJ Hooper.
Are you confident today, Hans?
Players who can make a big difference in their own ways.
I am.
I think JJ O'Donnell is.
Just turn the commentary off at the minute because it's not worth.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Just chit for chat.
Half, but Rangers scoring a penalty of their own, and then Danilo about 8 minutes later. It has just gone full time.
So I'm just setting myself up as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing?
Hey up, Mac and Cavi, how are you?
Non-Sunderland, typical we would drop points today, would be Coventry. Hello, how are you?
Well.
Yeah, well.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing?
Hey up, Mac and Cavi, how are you?
Non-Sunderland, typical we would drop points today, would be Coventry.
Well.
Yeah, it's like it's as well if you've got like the audio on before the game and that's why you've got a chance of like getting copyright strikes and this and that because of the music in the background. So I'll just turn it off now till the game starts.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, you've got
hey, Jacob, how you doing?
What's the march?
Hey up, Mac and Cavi, how are you?
I never remember what the march is called. It's like it's not the Imperial March. It's like March of the Valkyrie. No. What's it called? What's Sunderland's marching song?
Yeah, Dance of the Knights.
Dance of the Knights.
Dance of the Knights. There you go. I always think it's a Star Wars song.
Yeah, it's best to start the commentary when that comes out, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's class when you're at the game, but
got Thean on my chat here. Nice to see him. As long as he's doing all right, that's the main thing.
Southampton have won today.
Oh, what was the score?
2-1 Southampton. Late winner for Southampton.
In the 99th minute. Again.
South Coast derby.
I tell you what, Sunderland have got 2 tough games coming up next, Coventry and Southampton. I mean, I didn't fancy.
Don't win, they're all difficult.
Yeah, I know. I don't fancy much against them too, especially Coventry away. I hate Coventry away. Sunderland it's not a good hunting ground down there for the North East.
We'll break the deadlock though this season. We might get a draw against them too.
I think Sunderland will do well to get a top 6 position place this season. I do think it's going to be Southampton, Leicester. I think Coventry is going to be very strong up there this season as well. Middlesbrough, I think, could struggle. Leeds, I'm not sure about them, but I definitely think Coventry, Southampton, and Leicester are going to be very, very difficult teams to play this season. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going Leicester for top. And I'm going for Southampton, Coventry second.
They'll be having Walker's crisps in celebration, Leicester.
They will and all.
Gary Lineker and his
adverts.
Yeah.
Like Anth says, Gary Lineker hates Sunderland. He never has a good thing to say. Like,
I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember the last time he didn't slag us off in any way, shape, or form.
I think not many teams. I think neutral fans, not many like Sunderland though, do they? They're just.
Yeah, but it shouldn't really affect. He should be a professional, right? He's a TV presenter, and he's supposed to come up with an unbiased opinion. Yeah.
Of course, he might be biased with Leicester games, won't he? Because he's a Leicester fan, but.
It's like Shearer's clearly a Newcastle mag.
Yeah.
Dirty mag. But you understand that with him, whereas
Ian Wright seems like a nice guy though. Ian Wright.
Yeah, but he's the same with Spurs though. Like he hates Spurs. You just can't help. But there's always one team you absolutely despise, and it's just part of your nature, I guess.
I just hope I can do an alternative commentary with a happy outcome.
I was just about the lineup for Rotherham just popped up on the screen there, so
not a lot of fans are happy with it.
No, the Rotherham's lineup.
Oh, I thought you meant Sunderland's lineup.
I tell you,
do you want a good stat for your live stream?
What's that?
Rotherham have not won away from home in 22 games.
That'll change here then. I can guarantee you that.
23. So they are terrible away from home. It's as simple as that.
Trouble is, we're terrible at bloody home.
Yep. So one of those streaks it'll probably be a 1-1 draw now, isn't it?
Right. Do you know it's strange with the copyright carry on, right? It's I couldn't put any footage at all of any of the Preston game because the EFL claimed it. But when Sunderland are playing at home, I don't get any copyrights. It's bizarre, isn't it?
It's because Sunderland are notoriously lazy and not in the Premier League. The Premier League teams are very defensive.
No, this was Preston. When I did the Sunderland Preston thingy, I did my alternative commentary video, and I got EFL has claimed your copyright. It still allowed us to put it up, you know, but it just says you will be getting the money off the video. It's just weird. Like, what's the difference between Preston and what's the difference between, say, Sunderland?
I mean, I didn't know, but let them have the whatever pence it is, mate. Like,
I do. It's just weird.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the lineup for Sunderland? There's a lot of fans.
It's the same as last week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we've got Gooch is on, isn't he? Or is he on bench?
No idea. I'll go through it in a minute. When I load up, I'm not as confident as I was last week. I don't know why I was confident last week, though. That's the even weirder thing. You sure? I really liked our podcast yesterday. It was a good little good chat towards the end as well.
It was good to see, Paul back and stuff, and everybody giving different opinions, and yeah, it's a nice way to start the weekend, isn't it?
So everybody that tunes into one of our watch-alongs is not a Sunderland fan, by the way, because they didn't go to the game. What a stupid... Like, it really, as you can tell, it proper, like, got under my skin. Like...
Back in a second, I'm just sorting my daughter out with some ice cream.
Oh, very nice. Enjoy. Yeah, how close-minded can you be to say you're not a fan if you can't meet these exact criteria?
Exactly. I'm surprised it's not happened to me as well while I've been on stream.
It really just doesn't make sense, to be honest. It's like, do you spend time proactively just keeping an eye on your team? That would make you a fan.
I've supported them throughout the bad times and good. No.
But it's not good enough for some people, is it?
That can't impress everyone, can you?
Well, you can. You just... Yeah. You're screwed if you do, and you're screwed if you don't.
It's like school, innit? It's not a big deal if you're not popular in school, is it? It's just, you know. Fine.
There we are. Got the lineups. So the lineup is, I'm going to go through it again when I go live in about 6 minutes. But Cirkin left back, 09 and Ballard at the centre back. Weiss, 09 needs to have the game of his life to justify this. Hume is right back, Neil and Roberts in CDM, Clark and Bellingham on left and right wings, Ekwar and Dak up front. I don't think that lineup's going to be like that. That's kind of a bit weird. Dak being a striker is even worse. Like, why is Hamir on the bench and Dak?
Could he be the next Danny Graham? Bradley Dak?
No, because Danny Graham's a striker. Dak's a midfielder. Mm. It looks to me like he's replacing Pritchard. No, he's replacing Pritchard. The reason I think he's replacing Pritchard is because he will do what Mowbray wants. Like,
and Mowbray knows him, so that's kind of a good thing, isn't it? If your manager knows the player, then.
Yeah, but you also got to consider, like, they did. Pritchard has played with him for a year, so you should know him as well.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a completely new player who hasn't touched a ball in front of him before. Like, it's.
But you said last night that he's had more championship experience. I need that.
Yeah, and that I think is what it's ultimately boiling down to.
That's a positive note to think about if Pritchard does leave. Really.
It's Sunderland fans are still a little bit reserved around him, though, aren't they? Because they haven't been in the championship. Yeah, they haven't been in the championship to see him play that much either, though.
He got 57 goals for Blackburn. Yeah.
So he's consistent. The thing that concerns me with the Dak situation, and it's purely speculation. Why didn't Blackburn want to keep him on? That's what I'd be nervous about.
Wait, one second.
Yeah.
My dad's just told me there was a car spotted near Stadium of Light, and on the number plate it said M Via. You know that player we used to be. Was Jan Via?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Would he fit into Mowbray's system? Would he fit?
No, he's too. I wouldn't say he's too old, but he just doesn't fit the current model.
I think that's what my dad said when I said, "Oh, how about if we get Jan Via back?"
Pipe dreams, hopes, aspirations, all of that.
You never know, though. He could do it. So, yeah, he was before Blackburn. He went to this is Dak. He was at Gillingham on loan, 37 goals. Before that, Braintree Town, 1 goal. Then Gillingham again, 1 goal. So,
yeah.
And next to where it says goal on this football app, it has football pitch image. So I think that's appearances. 173 at Blackburn.
And he's got 40-odd goals from the midfield. That's good.
Yeah, 2 appearances for Sunderland, of course, because he's just got here, really, hasn't he?
Pretty much, mate, yeah.
Gillingham was 175, Braintree Town 4, and Gillingham, the very first run at Gillingham, he had 10 appearances, so...
Yeah, Gillingham's a different era, though, and I mean, you can't...
He'll come good, though, I think. Dak, got to give him a bit of time.
Say that, but like I said, you can say about that about most players, can't you? Really?
Yeah,
if you give them enough confidence, enough support, they'll come good. If you just expect them to be a godsend from day one, you kind of
exactly. I think that a lot of fans are guilty of that. Not just Sunderland fans. Other fans will do it, won't they, with new players?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Diallo. I don't think he wasn't good to start with, Warrior. I don't think he was.
No, he was okay. He's pretty much like every Sunderland player right now. He was there. He was putting in good performances, but nothing really materialised. It took him like eight games.
Time, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got to look at that as well. It took Diallo time to fit the model, and
we're doing the very what's it called? The very bad thing of comparing our current squad to our ex. That's you should never compare one past relationship to your current one, because they're never going to be the same, and it puts the people involved on the back foot. They're living up to a standard that they can never reach.
I think Bishop needs to play more under 21 games or something like that, under 23 stuff.
Yeah. Bishop needs more game time.
But our under 18s lost today against Blackburn under 18s. But
I mean, it's under 18 level, mate. Like, some people will really be passionate and care.
Like, I do care about it, but it's just they've got enough time to come good, haven't they? Plus, a lot of the under 18s from last season have now gone into under 21s, so that they used to be good, now under 18s, but now they're struggling. But maybe Goot should have started, to be honest.
Howdy doodly.
Doodly howdly. Diddly widdly. Wobbly wibbly. Okay.
Diddly fuddly.
Jiggly wiggly.
Wiggly boo.
Wiggly tough. How we doing?
I'm alright, mate. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. I've just realised I should be going live right now. So should I do that? I need to manage broadcast first. Yeah.
Probably should.
Yeah.
Hi, Dad, you alright?
Hello. I'm live. I just did a very awkward, stare at the screen for a couple of seconds. Welcome along. I'm Anthony Mackham, and today Sunderland are playing Rotherham at the Stadium of Light, the second home game, the third game of the season, and we're still without a point. Welcome along, boys and girls, lads and lasses. I am joined on the call by the Mackham Cabby, Yorkshire Mackham, and Mr. Dov. Let's go! Welcome along, perfume snobs. Welcome. I'm going to get my lucky hat out today because I think we might need it. So bear with me a couple of seconds. So, say lucky hat, it's the lucky wig. So whenever Sunderland take the lead, we wear this lucky wig and we win the game. It happened a lot last season. I'm yet to have this out because we haven't been in the lead this season. That's what? 270 minutes of football? Not needed this yet. So I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling that the lucky wig's going to come into hand today quite a bit. Yeah, welcome along, boys.
And they've got a bad defence, haven't they, Rotherham? Like I've heard they've got probably worse than us.
Yeah, they've conceded 6 goals in 2 games, but they have picked up a 2-2 draw. So,
But they've got a red card, didn't they?
They've had a red card in each of their games. Yeah, they had a double yellow in the first, and I think a double yellow in the last game. So they do have a suspension to deal with as well, which is good. We'll talk about the lineup initially, because Dean's popped in a chat about Mowbray and Hamir, and I don't think he does hate Hamir, but I think he's trying to prove a point that this system that he put in last week could work. So, starting for Sunderland, in goal, you have to have the good old, he's like 20, 21, Anthony Patterson in goal. Left back appears to be Dennis Serkin. Centre back is 09 for some reason again, and Ballard with, by the looks of it, Trey Hume on the right. In the middle, I don't think the graphic below me is correct, but in the middle we have Neil, Roberts, Bellingham, Ekwar, and Clark. So I think Clark and Roberts will be on the wing, Ekwar and Neil at centre back, and Bellingham as a cam, with Dak again playing up front.
I'm back. Hello, guys. I'm just eating my ravioli.
Enjoy your ravioli. So it's interesting that Hamir isn't starting today, but he is on the bench, and I think if Clark and Roberts have been given the creativity to start the game with the opportunity to cut into the box, and if that fails and they don't get a goal from it, they bring on Hamir and then can start crossing. That I think might be useful to know. Let me just find the tweet with everybody on the bench. So on the bench we have Bishop, Huggins, Bath, Lewis Hamir, Gooch, Barr, Pritchard, Bennett, and Triantis. So, what's your thoughts to that, boys? The lineups.
I get why people are frustrated, but like you said, Mowbray could be using it again just to prove us that it can work.
Persistence and consistency does help sometimes. I think when it comes to the what's it called, keeping the same squad for weekend and midweek games, when that starts to happen, when the fixtures start to get a bit more congested, that might be a little bit too much to put faith in that. But I think it's a good sign that Mowbray is showing faith in the players that started last week, that it wasn't their fault that they didn't do it. It's down to him.
I'd prefer to have 2 strikers at top, though. I'd prefer to maybe have Roberts and Hamir, but it's Mowbray's team, innit? He chooses it.
It was such fine lines against Ipswich and Preston and stuff. It's like it could have easily got a point from both of those games.
We weren't bad, were we? That's the thing. We've lost 2 games, but we've not been bad.
It's sometimes it is purely about luck, right?
Luck and finishing, like we said on the podcast last night.
What are we thinking for score predictions? I've gone for Sunderland 1-0. I'm going to get it out of the way with it. I think it's going to be a very tight game, a lot more tight than some people might expect. And 1-0 for me. Sneaky goal.
3-0 Sunderland.
Sorry?
3-0 Sunderland.
Oh, you're thinking very comfortable.
I know that might be a bit deluded, but you know.
Well, I think if we are going to score a lot of goals against one opposition team, Rotherham is up for the ripes. I think the best team to play this week is QPR. If we were playing QPR, I'd say it like 5-6-0.
Well, we've got them not long. It's not long till we play them away.
Yeah, we need to have picked up points before then, because otherwise it's
My heart says 3-0 today, but my head says 2-0 Rotherham.
Okay. I'd rather go with your heart than your head there, then, mate.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
What are you saying, Darv? Is he here? Has he disappeared for a minute?
I'm going to go for 1-1.
Hello, Darv. How are you doing?
1-1. Okay.
Hi, mate. I'm alright.
Getting us off. Yeah.
How's the fire stick? Is it working or not?
Huh?
How's the fire stick? Is it working?
I don't even bother anymore, mate.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Are you just using a dodgy link, Dav?
Yeah. I'm using 2 dodgy links. I got the Liverpool game on as well. So I'm going to be muted because I'm ahead of both of you, I think.
We haven't got the time up yet, but shall we go through So Stephen George says he doesn't understand why 09 is playing as centre back again when we've got two 6 foot plus defenders on the bench. Completely baffled. What's your thoughts about playing 09 as centre back again?
Well, obviously likes him.
He's better off as a right back.
He obviously likes him. Yeah, he should be right back. It is a little bit confusing, right?
Really.
As long as he keeps a cool head and doesn't do anything stupid, and like a red card or something early on.
Which he's prone to.
Yeah.
He is absolutely prone to. I'm going to go through the predictions. So Simon's saying a 1-1 draw. Clary's saying a 3-1 win. Susan's saying 3-1. Kieran's saying 4-1. That's got to be a good start of the game if we're getting that. Welcome along, Mike. He's going for a 2-1 win. I can get a win today. Talking about consistency and consistently bad at the moment. Fair enough. Snobs is saying 2-0. And Andre Afriza has agreed with me with a Sunderland 1-0 win. And Colpep with a 2-0 Sunderland win. So there's a lot of people going with Sunderland wins. Should I pop it as a poll and end that poll at half-time? So, winners... Sunderland. I do have the video footage up and running, so when there is key moments again, I will have it in this bottom corner. That way, yeah, it'll pop up here. But when we win, or when any key moments,
just showing the lineup on my screen on the Fire Stick, the Sunderland lineup.
So there we go. So I'll just make sure this works. Yes, Sunderland lineups again. They've mixed it around a bit. They've put Dak up front, Joe Bellingham playing as the false 9, Clark on the left wing, Roberts on the right, and Ekwa Neil as CDMs. Why is that not let me full screen? I just want a full screen. I don't want adverts. There you go. Actually, I just want to unmute first. Unmute. We're about 5 minutes away from starting the game as well, by the way. Oh, Kirsty Fennick, 2-1 Sunderland. You're saying 3-0 in the chat, Jacob. And Graham is saying 2-1 to either team. Oh, you can't be greedy. You can't say either team's going to win. You've got to say a draw if that's what you think. Why is this... Sorry, I just want to make sure I can get this.
Dance at Nights is playing now, I can hear it.
Audio sorted on the thing. So we have this. Pop this on this screen so I don't have to not watch the game. We shall also just double check that this works. Perfect. There's the Sunderland lineup in full on the coverage. Yeah. The stadium's starting to pack up as well. Let's go! You can see the little let's go bit in there as well. That's canny. Right, boys, girls. Are we ready for kickoff?
Bring it on.
Is there anything that we want to chat about? Oh, we chatted a bit about this last night, right? On the Mackham Football Show podcast, available on YouTube and all, well, Spotify and stuff like that, all podcasting services. Apart from Apple Music, it's awkward to get it on there. We were speaking about... Sorry, I need to turn that coverage off for a second, because it's still on there, and it's going to ruin it for a little bit. With the Alex Pritchard situation, obviously Pritchard's not in the line as the starting 11 today, favouring Bradley Dack as a striker for some reason. What are we thinking about the whole Mowbray saying Pritchard is no longer longed for Sunderland? We did discuss it quite a bit in depth on the podcast, but have you had any extra thoughts since you slept? No? Nobody's... Jacob, have you had any extra thoughts on the Pritchard situation?
Pritchard. Well, I think I said yesterday, I think I've heard his family stuff that he's wanting to move and said it's always complicated stuff, and, if we can't force him to stay, can we, if it's that, if he goes, he goes.
So you just said if we can't force him to stay, I think it's us pushing him out, not the other way around. I think he loves his time at Sunderland, and I think he wants to stay. He's still performing. He's still doing his job. He's getting treated a little bit like Aidan O'Brien rather than Aidan McGeady. If you remember how like those two were basically brought in at the same time, but one was obviously favoured over the other one. He's starting to get the Aidan O'Brien treatment where
other
looking at
player at least 25, 26 years old to sit in the middle.
You need it. You can have.
We could get more money for Pritchard than we could for Dak. Let's put it that way. Although Dak, yeah. Pritchard is on the bench, yeah, that's right, but he might not.
We could use the money for Pritchard to get a striker, couldn't we? To get a new striker, possibly, but...
That's it, yeah. I'm doing a Sunderland My Player, got us top of the league. We've scored 33 goals in 14 games. If we can do that in this one, that'd be great. So this is the Rotherham lineup. You've got Johansson, Lembeskia, Bremnel, Lackett, Cafu, Hugill, Green, Rathbone, O'Dorfin, who I think O'Dorfin was from Luton, Humphreys and Tihi. Starting for them, you've got Phillips, McCart, Eves, Baller, Cadeo, Morrison, McGuckin, and Aries on the bench. So they've got I wouldn't say I think we've got the better options off the bench than they do by far.
Players are coming out now.
Yeah, I think you guys are a couple of seconds ahead of me again. So I've still got the kids waving the ALS Love Supreme flags.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a point. So a Love Supreme can have their flags, but why can't the Spirit of 73? Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that?
That's weird.
Yeah, they banned it, haven't they?
The banned the Sunderland fan group Spirit of 73 from bringing in any banners or what do you call them?
Yeah, Kimberley. We can't get
signs, essentially signs, banners, flags. They've banned them from bringing those into the stadium.
On
but
the websites or anything on the internet.
Other people can. I don't understand
Hello from Thailand. Hello,
what message they were trying to do. Maybe it was a banner saying "Speak me now." KLD spend some money or whatever it may be. Yeah, Aidan O'Brien was dog, mate. Yeah, I know, but like they weren't given the same amount
squad.
Of chances.
He's not actually got a
yeah.
Swedish cap yet, but he's on the fringes.
Pritchard, would you say Pritchard?
Swedish national team.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Rotherham there, and I think you just
why are you getting treated
wonder how they're going to go about the game. I think they'll try to counter attack.
These owners are worse than Mike Ashley.
Yeah, they'll expect Sunderland to have a lot of the ball. But when they lose it, I think they'll get players forward.
I guess the key, they'll have done their homework on Sunderland. The key will be this opening 15 minutes because Sunderland has started brightly in their two games but haven't been able to get the lead. If they could just do that again today and take the lead, I think the first goal is going to tell us a lot about how this game's going to go.
And it's that old cliche, Nick. When you are on top, you've got to make sure it counts. You have to, because you're not going to dominate a game for 90 minutes.
Do you know how often we said that in the last fortnight since the season started?
Just mute that a second. Copyright, right.
Youngster, but spent 5 years at Rochdale before signing for Rotherham in 2021. And we know what this Rotherham team, or a Rotherham team's capable of, because of that 5-1 win at the New York Stadium a couple of seasons ago. But the Rotherham team take the knee, and now Gavin Ward just glances around him and ready to get the game underway. In the sunshine predominantly, a shadow cast by the roof of this West Stand across a third of the pitch. It's been a very strong wind blowing most of the day. It seems to appear to have dropped on the pitch at the moment, and we're underway. Rotherham playing a ball long down the right wing, goes out for a throw to the visitors, the Millers, halfway inside the Sunderland half, and it's Dexter Lembikisa, the Jamaican international who's on loan from Wolves.
Can you hear me all right?
Who's going to take this throw. Takes a few steps back. It's in the end just short to Rathbone, and Lembikisa tries to knock it forwards. Rathbone was on his knees pleading for a free kick, didn't get it, and then rapidly had to get back up on his feet, and the ball has been poked out on the far side by Hakeem Adofin, for a throw to Sunderland. Quickly taken by Sirkin to Ekwa, played back to Luke O'Nien on the left in the corner, up towards Dack, comes back though from Tyler Blackett, picked up by Jobe and played out here through Dan Neil to Roberts on the touchline, just a few feet away from Matt Taylor and Tony Mowbray. Matt Taylor, the Rotherham manager, former Exeter manager, and now it's played back by Ballard to Anthony Patterson. Out to O'Nien and through Ekwa to Jobe and down the touchline. Clark trying to poke it on, but he just
doing the
slightly misjudged it, and Rotherham have won it back. And Lembikisa drives it down the touchline straight to Luke O'Nien. Liverpool 0, Bournemouth 1. Here's Jobe, a cut through the left channel of midfield for Sirkin, but Rotherham get the ball away again, and back it comes to Luke O'Nien and played across to Dan Ballard. Matt Taylor, of course, when we've been talking about Jay Stansfield, he had
how are you doing?
Jay Stansfield at Exeter as a youngster, and then
I think
on
they
loan,
are, yes.
knows all about him. Rotherham were looking to try and sign him, but it's beyond their means. Here's Patterson playing to O'Nien. Ekwa just ahead of him, wide is Sirkin, and just ahead of him is Clark. But he goes through the middle, looking for Neil. Holds it for a second, it came down off his chest. He's trying to work it through to Dack here. Dack can't push it past Blackett in the middle of the Rotherham half. And it's played back up to the halfway line. O'Nien out here to Clark.
To pull that round,
the overlap on the line from Sirkin. Clark goes into the middle to Ekwa. Across here now to Hume, wide to Roberts. Halfway inside the Rotherham half and back to Hume, and back again to Patterson, just outside his penalty area. Plays it to Ballard. Ballard forwards a few feet. Trey Hume steers it across to O'Nien, and O'Nien now looking for Sirkin. Clark inside of him. Sirkin looking for the run of Jobe down the corner of the penalty area. Forced
There's nothing
wide.
Much happening, and
he's gone down into the corner. He's managed to slip in past Humphreys, but then Rotherham get the ball clear, and it's put out for a throw by Luke O'Nien. And it has
I'm on 2
Sunderland
minutes
throw, just clipped the
3 minutes as of now.
Midfielder
into the second half, that is.
Back to O'Nien, and he swings a great ball over to Roberts on the right of the penalty area. Down into the corner, southwest corner, the Roker end. It is forced to give the ball away. It's picked up by Green, and Green's coming away on this left-hand side. Short pass inside to Cafu, gets back out, and then eventually back to Blackett in the penalty area. And rolls it across the face of Bradley Dack to the goalkeeper Johansson, who kicks long up onto the head of Sirkin, and then Ekwa trying to win it from Rathbone. Ekwa gets his foot wrapped round it down the left wing. Clark trying to steer it inside, and he does to Dack. Dack trying to get the ball back to Clark on the left of the penalty area, and flags up on offside. He waited for contact, the assistant. I think he was right. I think the initial pass was he was slightly off.
Just slightly off Clark.
In the 5th minute, Sunderland 0.
It's all right, I won't be giving anything away.
0 live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Well, a fairly lively start.
It is indeed.
As I sort of hinted at the start, we thought we'd see Sunderland having a go, trying to press, but Rotherham at the moment managing to keep them out of
Hello, Colin. Yes, it's kicked off, mate. It's currently 0-0.
Southend 1, Hartlepool 0 in the
Don't forget,
National
if you're new, click the subscribe button.
Ball comes back here to Sirkin on the touchline, lets it run out. Quick throw to O'Nien. Across the face of Hugill. Back to Patterson, who passes it to Ballard here on the right-hand side. Ballard back to Patterson. passes it to O'Nien, and O'Nien to Ekwa, quickly closed down by Odofin. O'Nien pausing, holding it for a moment, then a short pass to Dan Neil, back to O'Nien, then down the touchline. Sirkin trying to get on up into the Rotherham half, rolling it through for an offside. I'm sure he's offside, yeah. Hume, flag up. We're going to see this again and again, I think. Trying to just get in past that.
Well, I've got 28 votes on me thingy, and 86% say we are going to win today.
Sometimes you have to curb your run rather than making straight runs.
Yeah. So 0-0 still. No away win since November the 8th, 2022 for Rotherham. 14 matches. 1 win on Wearside in 14 matches, and that goes back to 1959. Goal kick to Sunderland. Tapped again by Patterson to Ballard. Ballard trying to draw Green towards him, but Green just shuffles back. It's played across to O'Nien. Gateshead 1, Ebbsfleet 0. There's Patterson again to O'Nien. Bringing this out, chased by Hugill, and then laying it off to Sirkin. Plays it back inside to Ekwa. Into the middle to Neil. Back again
6:20 now.
Patterson. I'm on. Roberts waits patiently on the touchline on the right, or halfway. Now he gets it from Ballard. He's under pressure from Cohen Bramall. The ball's knocked out for a throw to Sunderland. Roberts is going to leave it for Trey Hume. Grabs the ball off Roberts. Dak comes to him. Ekwa's inside as well. Roberts forwards, and Hume still waiting. He finds Ekwa eventually. Back to Hume, and back behind him to Ballard. And Ballard forwards to Ekwa. Ekwa now looking for Job. Job up on the halfway line on the left, looking for Clark. Clark has got to come in past Lembakisa. He's rolled the ball for Sirkin, left edge of the penalty area. Nudged in the back, goes down. An appeal from Job, a goal kick. Gavin Ward, the referee, unmoved. And in fairness, there's no other appeals.
No.
8th minute, 0-0.
Good run by Sirkin.
Johansson places the ball. He's going to kick long. Victor Johansson. From the right side of his 6-yard box, everybody on the far side. Around the centre circle, his ball floats up towards Hugill, headed away by O'Nien, just behind him. On again by Lembakisa, out to the right, and played inside to Odofin, looking for the run eventually of Lembakisa, but it's sped away from him behind for a goal kick again. For Sunderland. Thrown down by Patterson
there?
In the sunshine at the north end of the stadium, and got both O'Nien and Ballard either side. He's going to pass it to O'Nien. I mean, there's literally no one to kick it long to. O'Nien again, inside the penalty area, trying to shake off Hugill. Plays it back to Patterson. Comes out into midfield, drives us up to the left, looking for Clark, cut out by Lembakisa. Rathbone, was he nudged back, pulled back by Sirkin? He was. It's a free kick. Oh no, don't tell me it's a yellow card. It's a talking to, that's sensible, isn't it? I mean,
come on, Sunderland from Catalonia, welcome. Will you guys, any of you guys be happy with a 0-0 or a 1-1 today?
Gavin Ward, just having a word with a pair of them. Rathbone's, it is a yellow card. That just seems ludicrous to me so early in the game.
It is indeed.
But I mean, I guess in Gavin Ward's defence, it's not his fault, is it?
No, they've been told.
They've been told.
They've been told, yeah.
Free kick taken. The Dauphin heads it across the 6 from the left, across towards the back of the 6-yard box, but it's out here for Roberts on the right-hand side. Can't get past Blackett at the moment. Blackett's got the ball back from Green, back again to Bramall, and into the centre to Humphreys. And Humphreys, he nearly got in a bit of a mess with Dan Neil on his shoulder, and Dak looking to burst through, but it was played back to Johansson and cleared.
We do need a win.
And out to Green here on the left-hand side, the left wing, and it's poked out by Ballard. Throw to Rotherham, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Bramall will take it. Cohen Bramall, the left back.
Hasn't he had a yellow card every game, that fella?
Sunderland half. Nobody close to him. It's going to have to either go back or find someone who's going to get told off, and he is encouraged to get on with it. He finally does. Green pokes it back here to Cafu, who plays it into the centre now.
You can just click the subscribe button, thanks.
Centre circle. Lembekisa's out wide. Rathbone's ahead of him. Lembekisa's then down the right wing, looking to put it on his left, back on his right, cutting across the back of the penalty area. Tried to slip it through for a Dauphin, poked out by O'Nien for Neil. One back here in the middle by TA, and driven into the penalty area looking for Hugh Gill, but straight at Patterson. Well, that's the first we've seen of Chris TA, their record signing. I think that was his first touch, and that's come in the 11th minute. Everything going down the flanks. Here's O'Nien.
Early yellow again for us. How are the lads calm it?
Penalty area. Hugh Gill cutting the route back to Patterson off, and O'Nien having to come out and play it up over the top, looking for Job's run. It could bounce for him, could it? But Blackett gets ahead of him and nods it back to Johansson. In the 12th minute, live on BBC Radio Newcastle, we've got another game tonight.
Thanks for the subscriber there.
Thank you. Thank you. Newcastle United, 8 o'clock kickoff. Ray's Ronaldo should be on their way now to Manchester. Possibly listening to us, yeah. As the ball has come off the head of Green, and O'Nien has to get down in the penalty area to nod it back to Patterson. And Patterson just rolls it again to his left to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien bringing this out. Job's come back. Job now got Ekwa in the centre as well. He turns, plays it back to Luke O'Nien.
I think we've mentioned this before, Nick, about we're slow, aren't we?
It's patient,
you know, I know he's patient, but slow. He's killed the game.
Yeah.
You can hear the rumblings of the supporters.
In the middle. Blackett gets the foot to it ahead of Dak. Sirkin is beaten to it by a Dauphin. Rathbone wide on the right, just inside the Sunderland half. Back behind him, Lembekisa. Back again to Humphreys. Cameron Humphreys. He was once a Manchester City player. Signed though in 2022 from Zulte Waregem. Then Roberts is tackled by Blackett. Job's shot rolls harmlessly to Johansson. Gavin Ward was right on the incident. As far as he was concerned, was a good tackle.
It was a good tackle.
And as far as Gary Bennett was concerned, Dr. Bennett has prescribed good tackle.
Even Roberts or Dak knows it was a good tackle.
Back heel from Cafu, cut out by Hume. Plays it to Roberts, back to Hume. Right side of the Sunderland midfield, back out to Roberts. Roberts back to Ballard.
Very physical side, Rotherham. They're coming in with 3 feet, like they really are physical.
So you can hear
the crowd.
There's nothing.
You can hear the crowd getting restless.
Yeah, you've got to be patient.
You can hear them.
As said, you can't get caught up with the crowd, can you?
No. Sirkin trying to get forwards. Back it comes
Gary
to
Bennett keeps on seeing
O'Nien in the 14th minute, 0-0. Ballard out wide here to Roberts. Roberts flicks it on, looking for the run of Dan Neil. It's wrong-footed by Blackett, who gets it back to Johansson. Dak goes to close him down. Johansson gets the kick upfield, headed on by Hugh Gill, and Hume will get in front of Green and gets the ball into O'Nien, slips it inside. O'Nien coming out with this now, a run from Sirkin, Clark ahead of him a few feet, and O'Nien has to turn away from Green, back inside to Ekwa. Ekwa trying to drive forwards. Dak in the centre circle, immediately closed down, plays it back to Ballard, through to Joe, back from the edge of the centre circle to O'Nien, out to
not quite clicking still.
Sirkin back inside to O'Nien. Green in front of him, he plays it across to Ballard. Ballard now to Ekwa, and Hugh Gill's dropped back here on the left-hand side. Wolves 0, Brighton 1. Hume, right side of the centre circle, getting whipped away from him by Cafu. Humphreys into the centre circle,
Big players, Rotherham players.
Back with Humphreys from Blackett.
Huge.
Humphreys up to the halfway line. Dack just trying to circle him, but Humphreys gets it back in the middle to Blackett.
Yes, slowly
down the left to Cafu. Here's Bramall. Bramall tried to get it through the legs of Hume, but it
I'm 5'6"
by
and
the
I'm
defender.
a lanky basket.
Forwards to Roberts, back to Hugh.
And I haven't swore yet, so I'm
driving
on.
I'm doing
Dack
well. Trying to get it, but again Rotherham behind him. And here's to Battle Green, gets it away from Dack into Cafu, into TA, and he gets the ball now into the middle. Humphreys in the centre circle, back to Chris TA, and the Paris-born Ivory Coast midfielder gets the ball to Humphreys. Now looking for the run of Lembikisa, too hard the pass forwards. And again, looking to get it down that right channel.
Down to 10 men.
It's a goal kick to Sunderland. A quarter of an hour, 16 minutes played.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, Nick. You know, everything is in front of Wigan. You know, they're happy to defend.
Gary Bender's just said everything's in front of Wigan. Get the right team, Gary lad.
In front of Rotherham. You know, they're quite
big
comfortable.
Big win for Wigan today, by the way. They're 4-0 at Bolton.
That must be the reason why. But no, everything.
Well, apart from the Southampton game, there was no goals anywhere at all in the Championship. So don't worry, lads and lasses.
There's nobody who's willing to make runs behind and stretch him. Look, it's too slow.
Again, caught. Free kick to Rotherham. I mean, they're pushing a high line, and Sunderland now not even getting up to the edge of the Rotherham penalty area as they were in the first 5-10 minutes.
And they're growing with confidence, Rotherham, aren't they? You know, they're knocking the ball about.
Blackett bringing it out, looking for the run of Lembikisa on the far side. The right back is way up in the Sunderland half. It's gone over the top of him for a throw to Sunderland. Sirkin takes it. O'Nien back to Sirkin, and O'Nien inside him just the left of the penalty area, and O'Nien to Ekwa.
Look where we are. You know,
back to O'Nien.
Rotherham can defend.
They're on the halfway
line.
His brother.
Ballard now on the right-hand side. Ballard through to Dack, out to Neil. Neil, right side of his own midfield, inside to Hume. Tries to get in the middle, but Humphreys has got it. And now coming back is Job to make the challenge to get the ball back for Sunderland. And Ekwa gets it out wide on the left to Sirkin. Clark wants it, but they've got to stay on side. Sirkin's still going. He managed to get it down the left now to Clark. Two in the box, Roberts and Sirkin. Clark can't get past Lembikisa at the moment, but slips it into Roberts. Roberts behind into Ekwa. Everyone says shoot. He gets it through. It comes off the back, the heel of Sirkin, back up towards the centre circle, and a possible counter-attack now, which has come to an end because Bramall's put the ball out. Hume has a throw just in front of Tony Mowbray to Ekwa. 0-0 still. We're in the 19th minute. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Back it goes to Patterson, out to O'Nien, and O'Nien forwards to Dan Neil. Neil wide on the left to Sirkin, back to Dan Neil, and Neil to Joe, back to Neil. Dack saying play it to Clark, but it's come across here on the right to Ballard. Roberts is wide on the touchline in front of Matt Taylor. Back it goes from Ballard to O'Nien. O'Nien rolling it wide. Sirkin now trying to work it forwards, but comes back to Clark. Clark passes it on to Dack, back to goal. Blackett on his shoulder. Cleared again by Humphreys, up towards O'Nien, who nods it down to his left to Clark, and he's dribbled into the middle, across the centre, then back in the centre circle to Ekwa, almost on the centre spot. Behind him is Ballard. Ballard, you hear the crowd again, the murmuring, the frustration. Roberts looking for Hume, comes back to Roberts, push forwards, cleared by Blackett. A Doffin's onto this, a Doffin through the centre circle, just lays it off the Rathbone, back to Humphreys at the back of the centre circle, then Blackett to his left, and Tyler Blackett taking this on. Dack going to close him down to Cafu, back to TA, short pass to Humphreys, then out wide to Lembikisa, inside again to Rathbone, back onto the halfway line to Humphreys. Humphreys to Blackett, and again creeping into the Sunderland half, forwards on the left. Green plays it back to Humphreys on the centre spot, leaves it for Cafu. Cafu cuts it wide to Lempakisa, finds Hugill or Rathbone on the right, plays it into the penalty area. Dauphin on his right foot scores. Corner of the 6-yard box, drives it under Patterson, and in the 20th minute Rotherham take the lead.
Yeah, you've got to say it's a well-worked goal, but one thing which Rotherham have got what Sunderland aren't doing is that they've got good movement off the ball, and they've got players who are willing to run beyond. It was a well-worked goal, and I said, you know, we mentioned that they've grown with confidence. You know, we seem to have run out of ideas. We can't get past the halfway line.
No. A Dauphin who scored last week scores again this week, and Sunderland have to come from behind here. And we said before the game the first goal was probably going to dictate the pattern of the game.
Already seen on social media,
you know,
Mowbray out will lose
what
this.
They'll do, they'll try to up the tempo. You should be playing with a good tempo before you concede.
Absolutely embarrassing, not the same team from last season.
As I said, in the last 10 minutes the game has been creeping further and further back into the Sunderland half.
And they've grown with confidence to start knocking the ball about. We can't get near it.
Afternoon, Ian, mate.
Almost halfway through the first half. Sunderland 0, Rotherham United 1.
Now they've got something to hold on to.
They have. Hakeem, a Dauphin, former Tottenham player, youngster, scoring that goal now here in the centre circle. Dan Neil to Job, leaves it for Dak, trying to find Roberts, who has to chase wide to Hume, has to chase wide for this. Roberts inside, and now Roberts from Neil back to Ekwa.
There's something missing,
plays it across to Sirkin, to Clark just ahead of him at the corner of the penalty area, trying to get round Rathbone, cuts the cross in towards the far post. Dan Neil heading it back, and it's in. Job scores. An instant response from Sunderland. Neil's cut back and Job nodded it down past the keeper, who got half a hand to it.
Excellent.
But couldn't claw it out. And in the 22nd minute, Job equalises.
Excellent goal. Well worked goal, Sunderland. But it's a wake-up call for Sunderland. All of a sudden, you go one goal down, and we started to move the ball with a little bit of pace. Good movement. Excellent header by Job. Maybe the goalkeeper should have done better. But hey, it's an equaliser.
Yeah, and they needed it quickly.
But that's how quickly you can move the ball. We're too slow at times.
So 1-1 halfway through the first half. As Benno said, a wake-up call. That goal
lads.
from a Dauphin. Rotherham will be furious with themselves for allowing Sunderland back into the game, but they are. We're back where we started. It's 1-1. Here on the left is Green for Rotherham, all in black and grey, and he's fouled. Free kick.
Silly free kick.
Hume gives the ball to the referee. Needless free kick. There were two players on him. He was going nowhere. And this wide on the left-hand side.
There's the goal.
20 yards out, if that. 19 yards out in the 24th minute. Sunderland 1, Rotherham 1. Here live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Cafu placing the ball. Rathbone's just down from him. Bramall stays back. Two in the wall. Dak and Roberts on the edge of the penalty area. Cafu, left arm raised. He will drive this in. Patterson. Oh, he's caught it. Straight at him. Bowls it out down the left-hand side to Clark. Clark now. Yes. A run from Joe through the middle. Dak up with him. Up to the halfway line. Rolled across here now on the right-hand side to Hume. Roberts just ahead of him by a few feet. Plays the ball back here. I don't know if you remember. I said Rotherham would score first. Can you remember? Short pass forwards to Roberts again. And to Roberts and Ballard.
We've got to get to a tempo, Nick. We've got to get back to a tempo again.
That slow rhythm again.
Rotherham's going to score first.
Back to Patterson out to O'Nien. Gateshead 1, Ebbsfleet 1. Clark in his own half. Back to O'Nien. Back again to Patterson. Passing it out to Ballard. Wide. Oh, he's given the ball away. It's cut out straight to the feet of Tony Mowbray by Andre Green. And Hume will take the throw in front of Tony Mowbray, drops it to Dak. Dak back to Ballard.
Is it Jord with a B or Jord with a D?
And short to O'Nien. O'Nien bringing this out now, strolling forwards with it really, and then up to Dan Neil at the edge of the centre circle, out wide to Clark on the touchline, looking to lift it over the top for Sirkin's run. Lemperkisa's gone back with him to the goal line, and he's sticking with Sirkin in the corner, but Sirkin's trying to hold him off and plays it back to Clark. Clark now forwards into the penalty area, but over the line it goes for a goal kick. Better. 1-1 though.
Again, it's that tempo, Nick.
Johansson waiting for everybody to get further forwards, and they're in the centre circle really, everybody. Hugill forwards of everybody, drifts back, and surely he's going to be, I think they've been offside, but he's eventually the ball's headed back right through to Patterson. Ekwa back to O'Nien, across on the far side to Sirkin, to Ekwa. Hugill goes to close him down, wide to Dak. Behind him is Sirkin, then inside to O'Nien. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 1 in the Premier League. Here's Ekwa, forwards to Clark, back to Ekwa. Now he's got a bit of space here to use, through to Hume, back to Ekwa in the centre circle, holds off Green, and now through to Dak in the middle. He's tackled by Blackett and taken out. Fairly, says the referee. Dak picks himself up, but Doffin's sitting down just outside the Sunderland penalty area.
Come on, boys.
As he receives some treatment. And a stoppage here. We're 27 minutes in. Sunderland 1, Rotherham United 1. Rotherham will be kicking themselves that they didn't keep hold of their 20th minute lead. It lasted 2 minutes before Jobe equalised with a header, close range header, which will do him a lot of good. Southend 1, Hartlepool 1. And treatment then, as I think Rathbone's jogging back to see what the situation is with Dauphin. Hakeem Dauphin, who began his footballing career as a youngster with Spurs, then moved to Reading and Barnet as a youngster before Wolves. Picked him up, but he left there to Northampton, Livingston, and was signed from Hamilton Academical. Hakeem Dauphin in 2021, and he's lying on his back at the moment, receiving treatment in the sunshine, sunbathing at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, he's the cross coming in.
He's up on his feet now.
Yeah.
And
he's
going to be replaced, I think.
Get in.
There's going to be a change. Rotherham are going to make a change. He walks off towards this side tentatively. I mean, it begs the question, if he's injured and he's not going to play any further part, why didn't he go off on the far side?
Far side, correct.
So the Accrington 1, Harrogate 0. I mean, if you're meant to be speeding things up, referees, surely that's the obvious thing to do. Well, coming on is Kieran McGuckin, 19-year-old Northern Ireland forward. So it's a like-for-like swap, obviously. McGuckin, who last season spent the season on loan at Scarborough Athletic. They came out of the ashes of Scarborough, didn't they, Athletic?
They did.
One of your former clubs.
One of my former clubs. They're playing South Shields today.
Smash the leg for the win. How are the lads?
Change made. The ball comes back to Victor Johansson.
I'm from Brazil, rooting for Sunderland. Come on.
And Johansson on the far side, a big kick upfield, and down goes Hugill. Looks at the referee. Who's
thanks for the subscriber. Thank you.
Patterson rolls the ball to O'Nien. Nearly half an hour of the first half gone, but we're obviously going to get some time added on at the end of this first 45 for that substitution alone. Here's Dak out to Hume, back to Dak, and Dak clips the ball down the right wing, but straight to Blackett, heads the ball away, up to halfway again. into the path of Cafu. Across comes Ballard, makes a block, the ball breaks for Bramall, gets it inside here now to eventually Cafu, who gets it back to Rathbone, but a block by Hume. A throw to Rotherham on this left-hand side, halfway inside the Sunderland half. 1-1 as Green plays it back to Blackett. Then across to Humphreys. And eventually out for a throw to Sunderland on the left, deep inside their own half. And Sirkin drops it to the feet of Dan Neil. Back out again for another throw on the far side, halfway inside their own half. Sunderland on the left. Sirkin attacking the Roker end, drops it to Ekwa. Ekwa has to turn this and get away from two, but then finally he's fouled. Quickly taken free kick. Dan Neil back behind him. O'Nien across to Ballard. Ballard out to Dack on this right hand side.
It was a great response. We desperately needed
Roberts
that response.
Back inside to Job, who's lifted over the top of Hume. Well,
that's
over
what we needed.
A throw to Rotherham on the left. Halfway inside the Rotherham half now on the left hand side. Throw to the visitors.
93 on the channel.
Cohen,
thank you very
Bramall.
much. Let's see if we can get to 50 likes.
With the throw,
all you got to do is
left
click
back
the
down the
thumbs
line.
up.
Flicked on by the head of
Click the
Hugill.
subscribe button to help me out.
O'Nien gets his foot outstretched in front of Green. McGuckin goes to close down Patterson, who manages to pass it out quickly to eventually Sirkin and out to Clark. Clark back to Sirkin, inside to Ekwa, just behind the centre circle, and across to Ballard on this right hand side, in front of Tony Mowbray, in the shadow cast by the roof of the stand, the roof of which we sit just underneath. Is Neil to O'Nien, out to Clark on the left, just in the Rotherham half. Back inside to Dan Neil, lifts one across here, looking for Roberts. Takes it on his chest on the touchline and keeps it in. Rolls it back to Ekwa, right side of midfield. In the middle, Dan Neil, quickly forward to Joe, back to Neil and out to Roberts on this right side. And Roberts back inside then to Neil, looking for the run of Roberts down the right of the penalty area. He's nudged down by Bramall. It's going to be a card for Bramall.
Yeah.
And a free kick to Sunderland on the right side of the penalty area.
Good build-up play, but what did that build-up play have? A little bit of
speed, pace,
tempo.
So, a yard from the goal line, Dack and Roberts in discussion. Spray applied, and Green and Rathbone stand behind it now. Positioned there by the referee Gavin Ward. Ballard's come for a quick word with Dack and Roberts and jogs back in towards the penalty spot. Lembekisa's battling with O'Nien. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on actually between the pair of them, but then Lembekisa just leaves him alone, O'Nien. And referee is ready. It's Dack, short pass to Roberts. It takes a deflection. He tried to play it into the box. Comes out to Job, heading it back in, and the foot through it from Humphreys clears it out into midfield, where Clark manages to stretch and get it down to Sirkin.
Don't lose it.
But he's nearly lost it, and he has lost it to McGuckin. And he's tackled by O'Nien, who just bundled himself in to get the ball off him. To Ekwa, back to Neil now, and forwards to Dack on halfway in the centre circle, then to Neil to his right, and out to Roberts on this right-hand side. 34 minutes played, Sunderland 1, Rotherham United 1. Roberts slips over, ball rolls out, it's a throw to Rotherham. Certainly not going to go down as a classic.
What, this first 45 minutes?
Yeah. Ball out again, a throw to Sunderland this time. Roberts halfway inside the Rotherham half, will leave it for Hume to Ekwa, back to Hume, back again on halfway to Ballard, inside to O'Nien. Neil giving chases Rathbone. It's come back out to Neil down the left wing. Clark cutting inside, he's lost the ball, then won it back again. He did well, actually, and he's trying to go around McGuckin now down the left of the penalty area. He puts the ball into Dack at the back of the 6-yard box. Can't get a turn on it. Had his back to goal. He was stretching. He was trying to twistle round, but he just couldn't.
Excellent run by Jack Clark.
And Rotherham have got it clear. And a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side. 10 minutes till half-time. And the crowd now just starting to respond. Job down the right, cutting in away from Blackett. A couple of step-overs and gets the ball back in the middle to Dan Neil. Lays it off to Clark. Clark onto his right foot, shoots. It's blocked at the edge of the area. Sirkin try to get on the end of it, but Rotherham get it away out to Lembakisa on the right. Back to Humphreys, and he plays it up off Sirkin for a throw. Liverpool 2, Bournemouth 1. Our latest score in the Premier League. And Leicester 1, Cardiff 0. And it's Leicester next for Rotherham at the New York Stadium. And Lembakisa will take this throw for
Bolton 0, Wigan 1 in the League 1.
Rotherham United. Black kit with a sort of grey and black diagonal
he couldn't get his feet, could he?
It's dropped over the head of Dack. Cleared. TA got a touch to it. Cafu's fouled by Ekwa. Free kick in the middle of the Rotherham half. Is Johansson going to come out and take this?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Bennett and Triantis warming up down below us. So Johansson, the goalkeeper, with a free kick to the left towards Hugill, and Hume had to be a bit careful there. He was tugging his shirt, but the ball has spun over the pair of them out for a throw in the corner on the right for Sunderland. Ballard, Dack and Ekwa in the vicinity, and here comes Dack, and this lays it back off to Hume, who's lobbed it up towards well, Job, who's manhandling Blackett, or the other way around, but play goes on. Ekwa hooks it away again, up onto the head of Humphreys and onto the head of Green, headed away by O'Nien, and Job heads it into the path of Neil. Now this could be promising. Clark on the left, he's got to come past Lembakisa. He tries to push it past the right back into the edge of the penalty area, on his right, just over the crossbar. Good move, probably the best move of the game from Sunderland's point of view.
Good header by Job, good pass out by Neil, and lucky Clark couldn't keep his shot down.
But for once they swept out of their own half into the Rotherham half, and just a little bit unlucky to see it dip over the crossbar. 38th minute, 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light. Kick from Johansson. Goes Ekwa in front of Hugill to Job on the halfway line, back to Dack behind him. He did well to hold off Blackett, and now Lembakisa holds off Clark and plays the ball up again, looking for Hugill, headed away by Ballard, and now picked up by Humphreys, looking on the right for McGuckin and Rathbone, but Rathbone's given the ball away out to Clark on the left, who's battling with Lembakisa, and eventually here is Rathbone looking for the run of Green. It's cut out though by Ballard. Swansea 0, Coventry 1. Coventry, of course, Sunderland's opponents next weekend, as Roberts getting away down this right-hand side if he can. Bramall's trying to stick with him, and Roberts has shaken him off. Plays it inside to Dack and then to Ekwa, just in front of the centre circle. Then to Sirkin and wide to Clark. Clark, he's got Neil inside. He's going to try and drill this into Roberts, and he flicks it with his... Well, he tries to turn it round to an offside Job. It was a neat little trick from Roberts. He just sort of flicked it with his ankle, didn't he?
Yeah.
His heel, but...
Where the lads, Andrew, say, come on.
It's a free kick, which Johansson, the goalkeeper, will take in the 40th minute. 1-1 at the Stadium of Light. Players towards this near touchline, the ball driven down that left side, looking for Hugill. He's being pulled back and forwards by Hume and Ekwa, but the ball drops out for a throw to Sunderland. Hume takes it, drops to Ballard inside to O'Nien in the penalty area. Patterson's just to his left, but O'Nien's bringing this out now. And a run away down the left-hand side by Sirkin, but he's played it short to Clark.
Good run.
Was a good run. It'll be frustrating for Sirkin. And now Neil to Ballard, and Ballard down this right wing. Hume just in front of Matt Taylor, the Rotherham manager. Back behind him to Dack, inside to Ekwa. Back to O'Nien at the back of the centre circle, just rolls it with the underside of his foot to Ekwa just in front of him, and Ekwa in the centre circle. Wide on the right, that's too much for Roberts. You can almost see that the moment the ball was kicked, Roberts' head just dipped. He was thinking, oh, do I have to run down and chase that?
Thank you.
Yeah, in this heat, it's gone behind for a goal kick to Rotherham. 41st minute now.
Thanks for the subscriber, thank you.
I think we'd say we're drifting towards half-time here. Players likewise drifting across to the right for this kick from Johansson. Floats up through the middle though, and Hugill does get his head to it. Comes back to Rathbone, who's knocked it out with his head to McGuckin on the right, and Rathbone back to McGuckin, taking on Sirkin, and McGuckin towards the goal line. Sirkin goes down, the ball rolls behind. Goal kick.
Good defending.
Swansea 1, Coventry 1. Patterson. A foot on the ball in the
101
penalty
people
area,
watching.
and passes it out to Ballard on this right-hand side.
Come on, hit a like. Thank you. Can we get to 50 today?
Holding it for the moment, then Hugill pushes him in the back, but it gets it forwards to Joe, who's holding off Humphreys and finds Ekwa.
Well up play, Joe.
And Ekwa to Roberts. Roberts on the right here, just flicks it back to Pierre Ekwa, and he plays it back to Hume on the halfway line on the right, inside to Roberts, back to Ekwa, and Roberts again on halfway, looking for Clark. Sweeps a high ball out, and Clark heads it on. He's going to do well here if he gets it, and he's tried to chase the goalkeeper down when Lembekisa played it back, but Johansson manages to just put his foot through it out into the east stand. Throw to Sunderland. We're into the 43rd minute now. Ekwa on the left. Neil rolling it down to Sirkin. His ball into the penalty area will go behind for a corner. Just took a deflection as it swept through. The corner on the left will be taken by Dack. First corner of the game. Dack on the left then at the Roker end. Ekwa, Ballard, Jobe, all the big men up into the 6-yard box. Hume's in there as well. It's played short though to Roberts, who sweeps it in, and a missed kick by Sirkin.
Why did they play it short?
The chase here across on the right for Hume. He plays it back to O'Nien, and O'Nien lifting it up to the edge of the penalty area. It's headed out by Hugill. Green, it's come off him a little bit awkwardly. Dan Neil's got to get in front of him, and he does, and manages to push the ball to his left to Roberts, and Roberts back inside to Neil, and down the left wing to Clark. And Clark trying to make a break into the penalty area. Still has it. TA gets in front of him, but it's Roberts who picks it up now. Roberts loses it though to Lembekisa, and Lembekisa in the corner manages to dig this out and play it down the right touchline and out for a throw to Sunderland. Brentford 0, Fulham 1, I think I heard.
Yep.
And here on the halfway line.
Get the thing sent in the box.
Fulham 0, Brentford 1. Here's Jobe.
Take a corner if
back to goal. Back to Blackett. Out wide to Hume, who crosses. Clark looking for this. Drops to him almost in the corner. And trying to come in round Lembekisa. Back behind, outside the area to Ekwa, who shoots low, and Johansson gets his body behind it, falls behind it to make the save.
Good effort. He's not afraid to take a shot, is he, Ekwa?
No, and the crowd encourage him, in fairness. 1-1 still in the last minute of the first half. Lee Doughty, the fourth official, strolls down to
let's just keep diluting the bloody squad, shall we?
Board.
Making it
weaker.
weaker.
Headed away by Sirkin. Back, though, from Rathbone to Ekwa, who gets it out to Sirkin. McGuckin trying to get it off him and fouls. No, he doesn't, says the referee. Shake of the head from Gavin Ward as Rathbone gets it to on the right TA, and eventually put out for a throw to Sunderland. In fact, a free kick was a foul just on the edge of the penalty area.
Are you guys happy with the first half so far?
Takes the free kick. Plays it back to Patterson. 15 seconds left of the 45. Here's Ballard.
What do you make of 44
back
minutes?
To Roberts. Back to Ballard. And we will have 4 additional minutes. Here's Ballard. It's 1-1 as we enter those additional minutes. Ballard on the right, looking for the run of Job. It nearly bounced for him. Pat, he gets a foot to it, but it bounced then for TA. Forwards to Cafu, back to Bramall and back again to Blackett. Up towards Hugill. Up in the air, comes down and he's caught between Ballard and Ekwa and fouled, says the referee. Leicester 1, Cardiff 1. So a free kick to Rotherham at the left edge, front edge of the centre circle.
But not great so far, says Chris.
Hugill picks himself up off the floor. Strolls forwards through the middle. A minute of the minimum 4 played. Humphreys with his foot on the ball at the moment. Bramall to his left.
No,
referee's having a word with who's he called
Dak.
to him? Ballard and Dak
Ballard.
Briefly, but Ballard now has been spoken to with Ollie Rathbone, who's ushered away by Gavin Ward. Dan Ballard has told off or spoken to, jogs back.
Captains.
Oh, the captain's O'Nien, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, O'Nien's the captain.
Very, very quiet, the stadium, I like.
This Rotherham free kick then. Humphreys, Cameron Humphreys with it. It's headed away by Neil into the path, though, of TA, who gets it to Blackett. Inside again to Green. Back out to Bramall on the left. Inside to Blackett. Into the middle again to Green. And Green to Lembekisa, who plays it back to the centre circle. Humphreys to Bramall on the left. Or it's Blackett on the left here. Dak tried to win it back. It bounces off him and comes out for a throw to Rotherham on this left-hand side. 1-1 still. Matt Taylor grabs the ball and throws it to Bramall, who's going to take this throw. He played 2 minutes plus of the minimum 4. Bramall with the throw down the line, headed on by Hugill. O'Nien heads it back away again into the head of Ekwa, out to Hume, looking for Job here, but rolled on the shoulder of Humphreys, and it's back to Blackett. And forwards again.
Thank you for the
shoving the back by
Thank you.
On halfway, another free kick to Rotherham. Bristol City 0, Birmingham City 1. So Cafu gets himself up to his feet again and will leave the free kick for Blackett, who leaves it for Humphreys. A minute left of the minimum 4.
We are not in the same class as them. Sorry, but the truth hurts. How would you feel
Humphreys
about that?
wide on the left here.
We are not in the same class.
Drives the ball up towards the edge of the penalty area and through the box it goes, and away it rolls for a goal kick to Sunderland. And this half is just sort of petering out.
It is. But I think Tony Mowbray will, sit the players down at half-time and just sort of say to him, look, there's 3 points here. All you've got to do is up the tempo, the quality, you'll get the 3 points.
As soon as they did that after they went a goal down, they were back in it. Job's close range header in the 22nd minute, and here's Rotherham, a needless ball given away by Sunderland. TA now on it in the centre circle, chipping it up over the top, looking for Hugill, takes it on his chest, lays it off to Cafu, through into the penalty area here. Rathbone trying to turn it back, nobody there. We know what that's like, as O'Nien now clears and gets it down to Roberts on this right hand side, but Bramall gets in front of him, plays it back to Blackett, and indeed there goes the half-time whistle. Seconds into the 5th minute of added time, and I think Tony Mowbray would be, as you say, pleased to get them in, really, to have a word up the tempo, because you can see that if they can get in behind they'll cause problems, but they're not playing at a pace and a tempo that's allowing them to do that.
That's right, they've got to increase the tempo, and better movement up front. We haven't done it enough. Rotherham will be happy going in at half-time, drawing 1-1, well-worked goal. But, Sunderland will be looking at that that first 45 minutes and see what Rotherham's all about, and hopefully come out second half and say, look, this is a game we can win.
There have been moments, but they haven't really been magic, and they've been few and far
between. There's not
been
enough moments. You look at the goalkeeper. What has he done? Rotherham goalkeeper.
Well, Nick Barnes said there's been moments in the match, but nothing magic.
He's made a save
low down, to Ekwa, but apart from that, we haven't really ever got in the penalty area, have they? They've not worked. In fairness, Patterson hasn't been worked at the other end.
Nick Barnes has just
either,
said there's been lots of
they
chances.
Were handing the initiative to Rotherham when they scored pretty much halfway through the first half. It's thankful that Sunderland suddenly changed gear and got back in the game.
And it was important.
2 minutes. It was important.
It was important to that reaction to get that equaliser back, because Rotherham would have had something to hold on to.
Yes, they would. So another scintillating, hopefully, 45 minutes to come in the second half here at the Stadium of Light. We'll have it for you, of course, on safc.com and on BBC Radio Newcastle. But at the interval, at the Stadium of Light, it is Sunderland 1, Rotherham United 1.
The Lionesses have made history.
Their first ever Women's World Cup final!
And they could be just 90 minutes away.
These players now stand on the brink of sporting immortality.
Join us for all the build-up and full match commentary.
There's so much momentum behind the women's game at the moment.
England versus Spain.
The Women's World Cup final.
Tomorrow morning from 10.
Bring it on, Spain!
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And we're going to preview that Women's World Cup final more in just a moment, but at half-time at the Stadium of Light, it is Sunderland 1, Rotherham 1, back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of the second half in just over 10 minutes' time. Right then, in the Premier League today, no early kick-off, so the 3 o'clock games start with Brentford winning 1-0 at Fulham. Johan Visa on the stroke of half-time. Liverpool have turned it round.
Turn the commentary off now. There we go. I wouldn't be happy with the point today. I know we're not losing, but we should be beating these. Dak's been non-existent. Bradley Dack's done out. Well, I don't know. I just don't know what his role is. Bradley Dack, I'd like to see more of him. I mean, we all keep saying, like, you know, he's got experience in the champion, like, but I want the championship. I want to see some more of him. It's like he's hiding behind the rock. It's like he's there, but you can't see him. He's like, what's he doing? I'll tell you full time. What I reckon the score will be, all of you said somebody in the chat. I don't know. I mean, I am going to go on. I'd like to see Sunderland get 2 or 3. I did say 2-0 me heed and that, like, but I don't think Rotherham are much of a threat, and I do think they're there for the killing. So I'm going to go 3-1 full time. Thanks for the sub. Cheers. And do you agree? Think like, do you think there's just something not quite right with the squad yet, or do you think they're still just bedding in? Yeah. Would I be happy with it? Would I be happy with this for full time? No, absolutely not. No. Is Dak any good? Someone's asked. Colin B's asked on the chat. He's not done enough to either say yes or no. He's, like I say, he's there, but yeah, he had the ball in the box and he was jelly legs. He was all over the place, like he had 20 vodkas or something. He couldn't stand up. Yeah. Bob's just said he reckons Semendo's way better. Only striker we've got in. To me, it's the same situation we have, not an out-and-out striker. Until we get that addressed, Sunderland will continue to struggle this season. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, Stephen. He starts Dak instead of Semendo. What's he thinking? Dak's new. Why start him on the bench? It's stupid. Someone says, Bob says Dak should be getting started on the bench. He's just started. It's Staff giving him a full start straight away. You're welcome, Stephen. Brian Hughes has just says, can't understand why Dak was signed and why Neil is not on the bench. There is no way we will ever get to the next level with this standard of player we're bringing in. They do it on purpose, man. Right up his pop pipe. Our last game we lost was Coventry, you know. It was Coventry that when we lost. And that's when Keane came in.
played back inside to Ekwa from Hume, and out then to Dak, lifting it down the right.
Do you think Mowbray's picking the team or speaking?
Though, and out for a throw to Rotherham inside the Rotherham half on the left-hand side. Rotherham in predominantly a black kit, but the chest is black and grey diagonal stripes.
We'll never get to know that.
Bringing the ball out, playing it back to Blackett, and he lifts it up to the halfway line, looking for Hugill, trying to chest it forwards, and it's now picked up by Rathbone, trying to thread it through the middle for Hugill, but it runs through to Patterson in yellow. He rolls it to Ballard, across to O'Nien, and O'Nien bringing this out here on the left-hand side and pushing it on to Clark on the left, closed down by Lembekisa, plays it back to Sirkin, inside to O'Nien. O'Nien across to Ballard.
Here we go, come on, lads.
Bringing it forwards, driving it across to the left-hand side here and over the head of Clark. And out for a throw to Rotherham United. Dexter Lembekisa, a 19-year-old right back
Doug
on
B.
loan
loose
from
today, and we
Wolves,
could be looking for a new manager
7
again. I know.
Caps for Jamaica, plays the ball back to Johansson. High ball kicked up and headed on by Hugill. McGuckin's way too far off the pace to chase it, and it's back with Dan Ballard now to bring out for Sunderland in his opening couple of minutes of the second half. To Dak, back to Ballard in the middle of the Sunderland half. Foot on the ball, passes it short to Ekwa, closed down by Rathbone, gets it back to Ballard. Ballard then on the right of midfield, forwards to Dak, Dak to the halfway line to Roberts, who plays it back, and then down the line from Dak, trying to get Hume forwards, but it's won back by Rotherham. The ball stays in. Green's away on the left here, tries to get round Ballard. He has down the left, he crosses. Ooh. And Hugill's header, well, he got way underneath it, and it's looped away well wide for a goal kick.
Yeah, you got to put that down to a half chance. But again, you know, we're trying to play in tight areas, fantastic, but we still need an outlet, Nick. You know, you just seen Rotherham there, 1 or 2 passes, and then Green was gone. You've got to have runners. Stretch him.
Ballard strolls out, then drives the ball across to the left here. Sirkin takes it on his chest. McGuckin gets it off him, flicks it on down the right here now for Rathbone. Second attempt to get it forwards for Lembekisa, but back gets Sirkin and heads the ball out. It's a throw to Rotherham. Wolves 0, Brighton 3. Lembekisa with this throw then for Rotherham, 20 yards from the corner on the right to TA, back to Lembekisa. He gets it back down the right to TA, who is tackled by Dan Neil. It's another throw for Rotherham, 10 yards from the corner on the right. Lembekisa again, take this, coming, making a run towards him is Rathbone, almost on the goal line, in the corner here with Lembekisa, onto the goal line. He's taking it out, surely it's a goal kick. Indeed it is. Patterson gets the ball, throws it and taps it to O'Nien, out to Ekwa and back to O'Nien, wide to Sirkin, on to Dan Neil, flicks it on to Clark, Neil, McGuckin gets his foot to it, but won back by Ekwa from Cafu, the Portuguese midfielder, signed from Nottingham Forest. But then Green intercepts a clearance, but it's come back to Ballard. Ballard inside to Hume. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Preston North End 1. Here's Dak, back to Hume, to Dak again, and Dak looking for the run on the right wing of Roberts, high over his head, out for a throw to Rotherham, and it's not technically good.
No, and you look at Bradley, that Dak, and he's struggling to get into the game, innit? You know, look how far, how deep he's dropped to get onto the ball, trying to do something.
Back for O'Nien to head across to the right and hook away, optimistically up towards Job.
Stephen Lynn, as usual, I agree.
It's wide on the left, he gets it down the line, and it's inside to Cafu. Back into the middle here to Humphreys, and Humphreys flicks it on.
We must have experience to guide them.
Ahead of him.
We must live for today, and the future will come.
Sunderland half, down the right here to McGuckin, who's gone wide, but it's blocked by Sirkin. Out to Clark down the line in front of the Rotherham manager. Clark, Sirkin on his left, he's got Job in the middle. Clark passes it across to Dak here. Dak has got space, he's rolled it down to Roberts in the penalty area on the right, crosses, and it's plucked out by the keeper, with both Job and Clark waiting for it to sneak through to them. And away go Rotherham on the counter.
Didn't I say my prediction Middlesbrough would lose? Sure I did.
A block by Hume on Bramall, and now Hume held down. Roberts to his right. They've got Dak and Job in the middle. Roberts here cutting inside.
5 likes away from
here to Clark
50
at the edge
likes.
of the penalty area. Clark trying to go around. Then Bakisa. His shot though is blocked by the defender. Comes out to Dan Neil on the left-hand side on the corner of the penalty area. Back to Clark. Clark cutting inside, and Clark now trying to thread it into Joe, but blocked by Humphreys. And his clearance is blocked by Ekwa. Through to Dak, lining up Job. 2-1, and Job again. A calmly assured finish from Job. Nice work from Dak, picking out Job. And Job calmly curls it in, and Sunderland lead 2-1.
Yeah, what a calm finish that was, but that was all made by Dak. The ball into Dak was fired into it, and he just set it just for Job to finish it off. He had time, but what a cool finish that was.
Very calm finish from the youngster.
Get in!
He's on a hat-trick now, and who would have suggested that was a possibility this afternoon?
I'm so pleased for the lad.
So Job scores in the 52nd minute. It's 2-1 to Sunderland, and they need to push on from this.
Nice touch there from Bradley Dak.
Approach play that led up to the goal. Roberts instrumental initially, but Dak pulling the ball back.
Hell of a player, Bradley Dak, like. It's been superb today, like.
And a time to take a composed finish. Dak and Job here again now on the halfway line. Job rolls it to his right. Hume pushing it on for Roberts. Roberts back to Hume in the penalty area on the right-hand side, pulling it back. Job! Humphreys managed to get a foot to block it. Job head in his hands for just a moment, brief second, thought he was going to score his hat-trick.
Excellent play. Great run by Hume. And again, Job finds space in that box again. Unlucky.
Might have a new number 9 there.
Who needs a striker?
Southend 2, Hartlepool 1. Throw to Rotherham on the far side. Rotherham now trailing 2-1. Wolves 0, Brighton 4. The ball played over, swept over the head of McGuckin. Back to Patterson. And out here on the left to Sirkin. Forwards to Clark. Clark inside to Ekwa.
Nice to hear the noise at the stadium.
Ballard down the right wing. Dak leaves it now for Roberts, who plays it back to Ballard in the Sunderland half. Tony Mowbray with arms in the air, pointing back to O'Nien. And O'Nien forwards then to Job. To Neil. Stoke 1, Watford 0. Here's Ballard down the right wing. Roberts, Dak and Job in the middle. Dak trying to come in past Green, rolls it back to Ballard, who's pushed up into the Rotherham half, inside to Ekwa, through to Job. Now Neil dinks one up for Dak, headed away though by Blackett, and Ekwa looked like he was fouled for a moment, but he's kept the ball and he's kept to his feet and he's played it behind him to
Get
Sirkin.
In there, Job.
Sirkin out on the left to
get in,
Clark.
Absolute
looking
quality.
To maybe play Sirkin in, but he's gone inside, now has to twist away from Rathbone, slips it through, but just slightly wrong-footed Sirkin, And Humphreys is able to come across and clear. So a throw, which Clark takes back to Ekwa on the left, back again to O'Nien on halfway, really. On the left, and then a short pass.
I think Tony Mowbray's definitely given them a stern talking
to Ekwa, inside again to O'Nien, back to Ekwa, and into the middle of the Sunderland half. Ballard, the 56th minute here. Sunderland leading 2-1. O'Nien bringing this out here on the left to Clark. Clark dribbling into and down the left for Sirkin. Lembikisa comes to close him down. Sirkin gets round him. McGuckin's behind him. Sirkin in the penalty area, tried to cross, blocked by Humphreys, and it's a corner to Sunderland.
Yeah, excellent. And again, good energy levels, especially down his left-hand side with Sirkin and Clark.
Bloody hell, Wolves.
Only Sunderland's second corner. Clark, hands on his hips to take this corner. Roberts is across on his left-hand side as well. Job, on his hat-trick, is jogged into the 6-yard box. The ball is driven to the far post. Ekwa heads it back across, comes it to the middle. TA hangs it in the air. It's punched away off the head of Ballard by Johansson. It comes out to O'Nien, who nods it down to Roberts on the left here. Roberts back to O'Nien. Southend 2, Hartlepool 2. Neal wide, then to Roberts, back to Dan Neal. Neal forwards to Roberts, so it's Hume out wide, and Hume here again, back inside to Roberts. Roberts inside to Neal, back to Roberts. Inside again to Ekwa in the middle of the Rotherham half. Just to his left is Sirkin, out to Clark. Clark now dribbling at Lembikisa. Lembikisa, he curls one round the post for a goal kick. Middlesbrough 1, Huddersfield 1 in the Championship. And Wolves have pulled a goal back now. Wolves 1, Brighton 4. Earlier today, Southampton 1 at Plymouth. Gateshead 2, Ebbsfleet 1.
I can't believe Wolves 1, Brighton 4. Wolves were absolutely red hot against Man United. They're superb.
Rotherham. Johansson to take this, right-footed, drives this up through the middle, and a foul on McGuckin, I think it is. No, it's Huggins, sorry. Not Huggins, Hugill. Too many too many hugs. Anyway, Hugill gets to his feet, and a free kick. Right side of central midfield. Cafu, I think, is going to take it. Liverpool are down to 10 men in a game with Bournemouth. McAllister as Cafu then, this free kick. What's the referee seen now? He's having a word. Sirkin and O'Nien. O'Nien's the captain, of course. He can have a listen in. He's
concentration
backwards now. Gavin Warden will let the free kick take place. Cafu with it then, with his right, drives this into the penalty area. It drops right through, past the post.
Good
goal kick.
It was a good ball in that.
And it seemed to cause a bit of alarm. Nobody really seemed to be aware of it going through, and luckily from Sunderland's perspective it went wide. It's a throw to Sunderland now on the far side. Sunderland leading 2-1. This throw just inside their own half, or on the hour.
Three more likes to get to 50 likes. Thank you. 101 on the chat. And hit the subscribe button. Thanks for everybody who's watching and tuning in today. Thank you.
Driving it through. It's blocked on the halfway line and played through here now to Cafu, who's got the run of McGuckin here. And he's in the penalty area with O'Nien, who got enough of a touch to let it run behind for a goal kick.
Well done. Good defending.
McGuckin it went. Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 1. There's still danger from Rotherham. 2-1. Whilst it's good to be in front, they could do with a third. And Job would love it. Job, who's on a hat-trick. A kick from Patterson. This longer this time, looking for Roberts up front. Comes back to Dak, and now Neal. Neil out to Clark. Roberts calling for it. Clark taking this down in the penalty area on the left, but Len Bakisi gets a foot to it, and Clark sensibly lets it run behind for a corner. So another corner on the left-hand side. Short, play back to Neil, down the left again to Clark, to cross to the far post, into the hands of Johansson, with Ballard and Hume both advancing towards him. And the Swede kept his cool. He's now waiting for everybody to wander back upfield. He throws the ball down. Jobe went to close him down. It's played up towards O'Nien, heads it on for Clark, but then TA hooks it away. O'Nien brings it down, plays it back to Patterson. Patterson passing it to Ballard. Ballard back to O'Nien. O'Nien forwards to Sirkin, and on the left Neil. Out wide then to Clark, and flicks it on nicely to Sirkin. Now looking for Neil. Was he fouled by TA? The play's gone on. Neil's still got the ball at the edge of the penalty area. Tried to get it into Jobe, then cleared by Rotherham. The moment's gone really. I mean, it was going to be pulled back for a free kick, and eventually the ball out for a throw. To Sunderland, which O'Nien takes to Clark, just in front of Matt Taylor. Jobe then on the halfway line, back to Ekwa, back again to Ballard. Ballard plays it to his left to O'Nien, now to Ekwa, and wide to Clark, and he's played it through now, looking for the run of Neil. Neil gets on the shoulder of Humphreys. Humphreys got a touch to it. Neil goes down at the edge of the 6-yard box, and I don't think he was ever going to win a penalty for that. And Rotherham trying to get the ball out with Bramall now on the left-hand side. Headed away in his own half by Ballard on halfway to Roberts, flicks it through to Jobe. Jobe twisting away from TA to Roberts, back to Jobe, and back behind him to Ekwa. Ekwa forwards again on the right of midfield to Roberts, back to Ekwa. Ekwa trying to get through here, but he's tackled, and Rathbone now is on the break, being chased by Roberts. He rolls it down the left. Green, but sliding across is Ballard.
That's a great tackle by Ballard.
Puts the ball in touch. Fulham 0, Brentford 2. Cafu back to Blackett, squares it on halfway to Humphreys. Humphreys back to Blackett in the centre circle, and Tyler Blackett plays it back to Humphreys. He's looking for the run of Len Bakisa down the right. He tries to tap it inside for Rathbone, but away by Sirkin down the left to Clark. Clark dribbling away behind TA, through the middle. Clark still going. He's got out on the right. Roberts motoring into the box. On his left, a deflection off the defender behind for a corner. Getting a bit more open now, the game.
Yeah, and you can see the likes of especially Jack Clark is enjoying it, that little bit of freedom.
Roberts then down to take this corner on the right. Coaching staff in discussion for Rotherham's perspective down below us. And Roberts at the north end of the stadium with his left, drills it in low. Actually, it wasn't a great corner. He's going to chase back now because the ball has been cleared out to him, and he plays it into the centre to O'Nien. He lobs it into the penalty area, headed down by...
Big shout out to Lisa, who's listening to her first game with
Ballard
me. She's from New Zealand, we're listening from Australia.
They're going to make
Thanks
a
for
now.
tuning
Yeah, they're going to make a double substitution,
Thank you.
I think, by the looks of things.
Coyote coming on.
Could be. Joshua Coyote. He had a spell at Gateshead back in the day, 2019.
60 likes, 61 likes. Thank you, thank you. And thanks for all the subscribers as well.
There's
today.
The kick from Johansson.
Thank you.
Up over the halfway line, onto the back of shoulders actually of Hugill, and Dak digs it out. It's Gateshead 3, Ebbsfleet 1. Mentioning Gateshead there, and here's O'Nien in the middle. Plays it across to Dak on the right hand side. Dak back inside to Hume.
Get in, Gateshead 3-1 up.
And then played by Roberts Back to 09.
I don't know, actually. I'll have a look.
He's on the left now, and Sirkin. Forwards to Clark. Back in the middle to Ekwa. Dying.
Oh, Carlisle's just let a goal in.
Just inside the Rotherham half. Played back inside to Ekwa, and in the centre circle, Neil. He lays it off behind.
You're welcome, Richard.
Ballard.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
And then to his right to O'Nien. O'Nien on the right of the centre circle to Ekwa.
You're welcome, David. Anytime, mate. I'm here every week for the commentary.
It's Carlisle 0, Exeter 1. Here's Job. He's dug it out now in the box, and the return ball from Hume was not great. And Job sees it cleared by Rotherham. And there's a push by Hugill on Ballard. Ballard faces up to Hugill. And the referee has to intervene here. It's back inside the Sunderland half.
Thanks for the subscriber.
There'll be a double substitution. Tom Eaves is coming on, and Coyote.
We need that third though. We do need that third.
Go 2 up front.
To take Hugill off, and put fresh legs up front.
Yeah, that would be the Sunderland way, wouldn't it?
Green is the other player coming off.
In the 97th minute.
Yeah, I'd imagine they might go 4-4-2 now.
We're in the 67th minute. Sunderland lead 2-1. The substitutions made. 2 fresh forwards then. Coyote and Tom Eaves. And Sunderland have a free kick. Clark back to O'Nien. Clark again across here to Ballard, and they've switched back, Ballard and O'Nien, to their respective left and right positions. And here's Ballard on the right, at the edge of the penalty area. Back to Patterson. Patterson strolling out, passing it out to Ballard. Coyote goes to close him down. Coyote actually went on loan to Carlisle after he'd been at Gateshead for a season. And back it goes to Patterson. Always been a Rotherham player. He was brought up in Dublin. He moved as a youngster from Lagos. Coyote there he is on the far side. Ballard's cleared the ball over him, forwards into the Rotherham half. Dak battles for it and stabbed away though by Rathbone.
It's going to do the lad a lot of confidence.
Trey Hume, then to Roberts. Roberts back inside to Dak, looking for the run of Hume down the right wing. Was he tripped? The referee thinks not. No, he wasn't on the ball at the time.
Welcome, Alan Frost. Yes, I do this for every Sunderland
Rotherham.
match.
Played inside to Cafu.
Live
Cafu across here was Job took him out a bit late. He's going to get a card, Job.
Yeah.
Two goals and a yellow card.
Yeah, they've just changed the shape a little. Rotherham. They've gone on 4-4-2. They've left themselves a little bit open, especially in the middle of the park, because we've got 3 in there, but they've got 2 forwards now. So every opportunity to get they'll put the ball into the box, especially when you've got Tom Eaves in there.
He's big, isn't he? He's big and strong.
Yeah.
Tom Eaves.
Joe Bellingham's just got a yellow card.
And they're holding the line, Sunderland, about a yard or 2 just outside the penalty area. Cafu again over the free kick as
it was a clumsy challenge, like he just went in 2-footed behind the Rotherham player in the middle of the park.
2 over the ball at the moment, but it looks like it's going to be Cafu who's going to whip this in with his right, which he does. Looking for Blackett, heads it back down, and it's hooked away in front of Patterson by O'Nien. Out into touch, taking no chances, getting it clear.
Yeah, it'll be a long throw here.
And Lembakisa down on the right here, the Wolves fullback. He throws it back here and gets it back from Cafu. And back to Cafu and into the middle now to Humphreys.
Harry Trenholm, I know you, Harry, used to have the shop at Ballion Road.
Lembakisa, but he may have overstruck it.
Best shop in Sunderland. Great family.
For a goal kick.
Welcome on board, Harry. Hope you're well, mate.
Sunderland. 70 minutes almost played. Sunderland lead 2-1. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle, and tonight, of course, full commentary from 8 o'clock of Manchester City versus Newcastle United with Razor.
We'll see you here from here on at 11:30 PM here in Aussie. Welcome, Alan.
kick from Patterson, driven wide and out with Pritchard and Hamir and Barr warming up. No, it's not Barr, is it?
Blackburn 1-0
warming up down there on the touchline. Lembikisa with his throw for Rotherham. Referee saying stop there, that's not take any more yards. So he finds Cafu and then he stretches Lembikisa. Can't control it. Dat takes a quick throw. Jobe in the penalty area on the shoulder of Humphreys on the left of the 6-yard box. Pulls it back to Dak on the left. Dak now looking to get it. Roberts, lovely little flick through to Hume. Hume on the right corner, bottom corner of the penalty area.
Wrexham 3, Swindon 5. Crikey. 8 goals.
Excellent. Quick play.
Well, you'd have to say if they could score a third, it would wrap this one up. Roberts on the far
Wrexham
side.
3, Swindon 5.
Sunderland corner.
8:30 a.m. in Canada.
On the right-hand side. Ekwa's making a nuisance of himself. The ball swept in. Ooh. Jobe tried to get his foot wrapped round it, but it was a defender right in front of him who blocked it and got it clear. Here's Clark on the left, down to Ekwa on the left-hand side.
Thank you for the likes.
Down again for Sirkin on the left of the penalty area.
No, you're welcome, Harry. Absolute welcome, mate.
Trying to get in round of TA. He's been hauled about by him, and TA goes down, and the referee's given Rotherham the free kick. Johansson comes out to take it. Wide on the right for Rotherham, all in green, the keeper. 73rd minute now. Sunderland leading through 2 Jobe goals in reply to a Dolphins. Blackburn 1-0 as the ball floats off Ekwa down to McGuckin, looking for Coyote, but off the head of an O'Nien to Eaves, and then shuffled out by O'Nien. Not a lot he could do to stop it.
Ipswich 1-0 up
for Rotherham. At home to Leicester next Saturday, then away
long throw
again to Stoke.
Is this Blackett, is
it?
The
League Cup. This is Blackett, Tyler Blackett, who had a season at FC Cincinnati, moved back to this country in 2022.
Thanks for the sub. Cheers.
Was without a club, but then signed for Rotherham in March. And here he is on the right-hand side with this throw. Looks as though it's going to be a long one. You're right, it's drilled in, and it's headed down and out, and comes out eventually to Blackett on the right, and then inside again to TA. Blackett's cross in, headed away by Sirkin at the corner of the 6-yard box. Neil tried to clear it, but it's put back by Lembikisa through the penalty area back to Patterson.
Can the lads hang on? Can the lads hang on?
Season, Ipswich.
Very good start.
As Ballard plays it to O'Nien, out to Sirkin on the left-hand side. Sirkin back to O'Nien. Back inside to.
I would take Joe off.
Make another change, Rotherham.
Bellingham, I would get Bellingham off.
Yes, they are.
Neil out wide to Sirkin, lifting it up through the middle, looking for Jobe, but it's brought down by Humphreys. Jobe gives.
Yeah, that's
chase.
the only reason why I would take him off, because he's on a yellow.
Turns him and plays the ball down the right wing. Sirkin nods it down to Dan Neil on halfway. He twists and turns round and then plays it back here to Ballard.
We need a third here to put the game to bed, because it's one of these where it's going to get a dodgy break from Rotherham. We need a third.
Plays it back to Ballard.
Ballard bowler coming on, I think.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Thanks for the sub.
Former Arsenal player. Spent last half of last season at Bradford City on loan. It's actually a left back. As Clark swings it. It would have been a good ball if Roberts could have got there. It's gone out in the corner for a goal kick. But yeah, Talaji Bowler is going to come on now. It'll be interesting because he is a left back. I wonder if he's going to replace Bramall. We'll soon find out.
Roberts has gone down, has he?
Yeah, Roberts is down on the far side. Talaji Bowler is going to come on and replace. Oh, the ball swung down. That swung up again. TA to the record signing. I think it's fair to say he's had a quiet game. He is being replaced in the 75th
The last 10 minutes have been terrible,
minute.
Doug. How are the lads?
Roberts is getting some treatment. The players across on this near side are all getting a drink. It's it is a warm afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
No question of that.
Humid.
Yeah, very sticky. As the last player who's not actually involved in standing over Roberts runs back, the Rotherham player, to grab a drink. I think it's the left back Bramall, so he's got the longest to run just to get some refreshments. As Roberts continues to get
as long as there's only one goal in front,
side.
As long as there's just the one goal in front, there's always that threat.
Seemingly, no sense of someone being ready in case he's not all right. Roberts still lying just down by the touchline on the far side. So later tonight, then Man City against Newcastle United. Monday to Friday, 6 till 8. Total Sport on BBC Radio Newcastle with Simon Pride, Marco Gabbiadini, John Anderson, Gary Bennett on a Friday. That's when he has his surgery, Dr. Bennett. Friday night, 6 till 8.
Clinic.
On BBC Radio Newcastle, so give him a... As Roberts gets to his feet, and Pritchard's coming on to replace him.
It's like that, Alan, I'm not too sure.
Well, a big roar for Pritchard
testicles,
coming on.
He's had a kick or something.
Coming on with his team leading 2-1 with 13 minutes left, but there'll be time added on without question. And Roberts has gone off on the far side. He's walking round the pitch as play continues. Ekwa trying to head the ball away. Pritchard trying to get his first touches. Lembekisa inside to Rathbone, who plays it back to Johansson. The keeper comes out of his area, lifts it over Dak. O'Nien is wrestling with Eves and heads the ball away, O'Nien. And then Rathbone gets it with his left foot through, but to Hume, and O'Nien's... Neil's hurt as Clark tries to come away on the right-hand side here now with Hume. Hume trying to get away on the right from Bowler, who's gone in at left-back. And Bramall's gone now back to left-back. I think Bowler's playing midfield. Bowler's dropped back in as the left-back. O'Nien to Sirkin. Blackburn 1-1. The applause is for Roberts as he walks around the pitch. Jove gets a touch with his run for Rathbone, who gets it back to Humphreys and inside to Blackett. Inside the Rotherham half. Rathbone back to Blackett. And then to Bramall, down the left to Bowler, straight to Hume. And Coyote's trying to win it off him, but he's fouled Hume, and it's a free kick. "12 minutes of the 90 left. Sunderland just need to manage this through. Don't do anything daft. Carlisle
5 years since I saw a match at the stadium. I used to live just around the corner when I was a kid.
And said something to Pritchard. Pritchard just had his back to him and sort of waved him away. I don't think he was appreciative of whatever Alessandro Bacchiarini was relaying to him.
I think he was saying, I thought you wanted to leave the club.
Is Clark, a chase, too much of a chase, a forlorn chase for Hume, and it rolls behind for a goal kick to Rotherham. And Johansson has got the ball, comes back with it. I think he's not going to be dilly-dallying, is he? He's going to want to get the ball up quickly, and the Rotherham bench, they're waving at players in the middle, and Johansson now, as all the players come over towards this near side, takes the goal kick.
I've got to say that Pritchard is versatile, isn't he, really?
He is.
He's playing numerous positions.
He's busy, I think is the word. There's a push in the back of Sirkin by McGuckin. Free kick to Sunderland on the left, and they'll take those all day long, as we're now up to the 80th minute. Leading 2-1. O'Nien's going to take the free kick. Plays it across to Anthony Patterson. Plays it back to O'Nien. Eves loiters in the D. Patterson plays it to Ballard. Back to Patterson. Eves is giving it chase, and now Coyote as O'Nien passes it out to Neil. Neil back to O'Nien, and he's under pressure, and he's in the corner with Coyote, and eventually off of Coyote for a goal kick.
Wigan winning 4-0.
Referee, I think, is having a word here as he's jogging back from the penalty area, saying, come on, I don't want any time wasting. 40,688.
40,688. What a crowd that is. 40,000.
Attendance this afternoon.
Brilliant.
There's Pritchard here on the left. He's lifted it, lovely ball down the left for Sirkin. Jobe through the middle. Dack just behind him. Dack trying to find Clark in the penalty area. Right foot straight at the goalkeeper. Sirkin waiting for spillage, but Johansson's got it firmly.
The thing is, we don't know how many is in the upper concourse.
40,688. The attendance here.
Fantastic
this
crowd.
Afternoon, amazing.
Yeah, you got to take on board that Rotherham haven't brought that many supporters.
No, that's right. That's right. Here's Bramall. Clark on his shoulder. Bramall trying to go round him. Clark chasing back, slides in and knocks the ball out for a throw to Rotherham on the far side.
Excellent defending there by Jack Clark.
Joe playing up front. He scored 2 goals. Here's Humphreys in the centre circle for Rotherham. Jobe looked to intercept the pass to Blackett to his left, but he's got the ball.
It's a weak shot, wasn't it?
Now to Cafu, plays it back to Humphreys, the back of the centre circle, lifts it up, looking for Eves over his head. Hume has to get back, Coyote's on his shoulder.
Well
Hume digs it out, up into midfield, where Cafu runs onto it for
Rotherham
United, and out to the right-hand side here now to Lembakisa. And Lembakisa down the right at the
stupid
penalty area, trying to get away from Sirkin, who's just got himself. He just
stood on the ball.
He stood on the ball and just lost control of it.
Still won the throw in.
Still won the throw in. 7-8 minutes left, plus whatever time we're going to see added on. There's going to be another change for. So I think Gooch is coming on as Ekwa to Jobe. Bristol City 0, Birmingham City 2. Here battling for it is Cafu.
Oh, that's a soft one, referee.
And the referee's given the free kick as he goes down on his knees. This wide on the right, just inside the Sunderland half.
Hamir's going to come on, isn't he?
Well, Gooch is coming on, Hamir's coming on. So one assumes Dack's going to come off. And Jobe. Cafu will take the free kick. 2-1 Sunderland lead. We're in the 84th minute.
Yeah.
Drove it through, didn't he? Right through the penalty area. The Portuguese curls it in here, and it's headed wide, but it's a goal kick. And Sunderland now, I think, can make the substitutions, but someone's gone down. Is it Ballard?
Ballard.
Or Neil?
Like Ballard.
So Jobe's coming off, and Hamir will replace him. He's not going to get his hat-trick today, but well done, Jobe.
Another great game.
Yeah.
Excellent game.
And Dack's the other one coming off.
Yeah, he's worked hard, Dack.
Bradley Dack's coming off on the substitutions.
So Dack coming off down this left side here, wandering down.
Bellingham's coming off.
Lyndon Gooch replacing. Accrington 1, Harrogate 1. And O'Nien with the ball at the left corner of the 6-yard box, leaves it for Patterson to take a kick from the middle of the 6-yard line. Blackburn 1, Hull 2. And the drive down the left out to Sirkin, heads it on to Clark. Lembakisa tries to win it back. McGuckin heads it straight down to Pritchard. He's played it through to Gooch, and now Hamir Hamir with his right.
Unlucky.
Whistles past the foot of the left post.
Well done, good effort. That would do him the world of good. Excellent effort. Well done.
Almost scored with his second touch of the game. 5 minutes left of the 90. Sunderland 2, Rotherham United 1. Johansson with the kick down the right. The whistle's blown. What's the referee seen there? Wasn't an offside. Was it pushing?
No, it was a foul by Tom Eaves.
Tom Eaves, yeah. Sirkin pushed out by McGuckin. Throw to Sunderland on the left. In the middle between Matt Taylor and Tony Mowbray. Sirkin down to Clark. McGuckin gets off, but Pritchard wins it back. Then Neil plays it back to Ballard.
I don't know who the Rotherham manager is.
Sweeps it down the right over Gooch. She'll chase. The goalkeeper's coming out though to the edge of the area. Won't let it run behind. He's done that. And that was a long run for Gooch for nothing. But he's, if nothing, a trier. And back he goes, Lyndon Gooch, for the goal kick from Victor Johansson in the 87th minute. Drives this up over the halfway line. Hangs in the air a minute, then the foot in from Neil. Back it comes from O'Nien to deal with. He lets it run behind for a goal kick. The minutes ticking down. Sunderland looking at their first league win of the season. Next week they go to Coventry. Full commentary, of course, on BBC Radio Newcastle. Goal kick, which Patterson again is going to kick long this time and drives it down the left. Hamir's looking for it. McGuckin's headed away, headed it out. Another throw to Sunderland on the left inside the Sunderland half. Matt Taylor's not happy with something down the line. He's having a word with the fourth official.
Yeah, he's trying to talk about time wasting, isn't he?
Is that what it is? Sirkin takes the throw back to Patterson. Patterson drives this up through the middle, looking for Hamir again. Headed away by Blackett. Up on halfway to Bowler and Rathbone. And Bowler trying to get away here is tripped.
Well done.
By Hume. But it's the Sunderland free kick because the referee's seen it was more from Bowler than it was from Hume. Ballard throws the ball down. O'Nien takes the free kick away over on this left-hand side, looking for Clark, but Johansson's come out and lets it drop out behind for a goal kick. Into the final 2 minutes of the 90. Sunderland 2, Rotherham United 1.
Carlisle's getting beat 2-0 at home.
Goal kick from the right. Everybody on this near side. The ball driven over halfway, and Neil and Eaves tussling, grabbing each other. The ball headed away by Hume down to Pritchard in the middle, looking optimistically for the run of Hamir. Blackett's brought it down in front of him. Gooch goes to close him down. He pushes it on then to the halfway line, and a break down the left by Bramall. He's lost it. Won by Hume. Played across here now to Sirkin. Eaves chases him and then crashes into the back of him. Tom Eaves brings Sirkin down.
You've got to get a yellow card.
I thought, you know, in the
no intentions of winning the ball.
None at all, and judging by the yellow cards we've seen already, I don't know how Tom Eaves has got away with one there. Leicester 2, Cardiff 1. That was a clear, cynical foul by Tom Eaves. He had only one intention, and that was to take Sirkin down.
Oh, he didn't get a card for that, I do not know.
Fulham 0, Brentford 3. Here on the right, Hume on halfway. Forwards down the right side to Gooch, who gets it back to
Fulham 0, Brentford
Hume. Forwards again. Blackett gets it in front of Hamir, and Hamir goes down, but he gets the ball back to Hume. Now Hamir gets it back from Ekwa, and trying to find a way through. Rathbone gets his foot round it. We've got seconds left of the 90. How much will we get added on at the end here as the ball comes back to Patterson?
Rumours have it there could be 12 minutes added on.
Make it 8 seconds left. Patterson picks the ball up in front of
You're
Coyote.
welcome, Ian. Thank you, mate, for tuning in.
The fourth official shows us 5 minutes. So, no added time madness this afternoon from Gavin Ward. Just 5 minutes added on at the end here. Patterson's kick goes high in the air, headed away by Rathbone at the back of the centre circle, but back up again, looking for Pritchard. Drops there for Cafu. Plays it off Neil for a throw to Rotherham on the right-hand side. Lembakisa is going to take the throw just a few yards down from Tony Mowbray, steals a few yards and takes it in front of Tony Mowbray to Tom Eaves. It's hooked away by Ekra, up to Hamir. Chest it down, tried to chest it into the path of Pritchard, but knocked away. Rotherham have possession back.
It's going to do Bellingham the world of good for his confidence.
Gateshead 4, Ebbsfleet 1. Here's Bramall again, playing it down the left wing and headed out by Ballard. It drops for Ekwa. Pritchard. Neil, Hamir. Hamir just taps it back to Pritchard, who's looking for the run now of Clark on his left-hand side of the Rotherham penalty area. Taking on Lembakisa. Lembakisa just got in front of him. Clark went down. It was all a bit too flailing arms and not really any.
Can't understand Sunderland fans leaving the ground.
It needs substitution, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Clark,
he's tired. He's
got
cramp, I think. There's Bramall away on the far side into the Sunderland half.
Bring Barr on somebody.
In the second minute of the 5, it's crossed into the box and Eaves is pulled down, and the referee says it's a Sunderland free kick.
You've got it. Referee, what are you going to do about it?
Sirkin was the player in front of Eaves. Eaves was trying to get round Sirkin. The two went down.
Colin. Thank you.
And it's a Sunderland free kick. Eaves just puts himself about, doesn't he? Into the 3rd minute now of added time. Sunderland leading 2-1, looking at their first 3 points of the season. Sirkin gets to his feet. Patterson will take the free kick.
You what?
People starting to drift away now in the belief that they are going to win. Pritchard urging everybody on. Patterson with the kick. Up towards Hamir, but headed away by Humphreys. Now up goes Neil. Heads it out inside the Rotherham half on the right-hand side. It's a Rotherham throw. Rotherham trailing 2-1. Referee again blowing his now Lembakisa down the line, headed away by Clark, and bounces in towards the Sunderland dugout onto the roof of it. So much for the multi-ball system. They've retrieved the same ball, and Lembakisa has another throw for Rotherham United on this right-hand side on halfway.
That smells like Gandhi's flip-flop,
lad. But he's not really getting much on offer. It's flicked on by Bowler, comes up to Coyote, looking for Eaves, who lumbers down to the goal line, and it goes behind for a goal kick. In the 94th minute now, Tony Mowbray just asking the 4th official how much is left. He only has to look up at the big screen, because there is the clock ticking away. 93 minutes and 40 seconds. Goal kick from Patterson here now. Drives this up over the halfway line on the left-hand side, looking for him here. Headed away by Humphreys, back up to Pritchard, who's headed it out. A throw.
He needs some worming tablets.
Rotherham half. A minute left. And Lembakisa with yet another throw. Cafu hooks it on straight to Clark. Clark on the left wing, taking it down towards the corner. Lembakisa goes with him, but Clark just holds him back, and then it's pushed out for a throw.
Well done, Jack Clark. He's been excellent
to Sunderland.
This afternoon.
Hartlepool 3-2 away.
Last 40 seconds of the game. And Clark, Gooch, Pritchard down in the corner. Pritchard just watching as Gooch holds it there on the quadrant. And it's flicked off McGuckin, who just managed to keep it in. It becomes back to Dan Neil. Neil across now, Hume. And Hume, I think, indicated to Hamir, let's get down in the corner, hold it there, and holding off Bowler at the moment, who pokes the ball out. 9 seconds of the 5 minutes left. We're up towards, well, that's the 5th minute played now. Ball goes out for a throw.
That's it.
And that is indeed it.
Get in,
Sunderland
full time.
2-1,
Get in.
the first 3 points of the season. Made to work
well,
hard
there's something
for it.
blowing your end, Jacob. It's
and
not
they
the whistle.
were nearly punished in the first half, but they went 1-0 down, but responded immediately. And it's Job's 2 goals in the 22nd and 52nd minutes that have given Sunderland victory over Rotherham United this afternoon. And that will be a massive tonic to Tony Mowbray and the players as they head to Coventry next week.
Yeah, massive boost for the players, and they're showing good character as well. You know, going a goal down. I've got to say, they've got the equaliser at the right time, the reaction to get back into the game. And then you've got to say, in the second half, they deserved that second goal.
And,
you know, Bellingham, Joby Bellingham played really well. You know, he's playing more as a forward, further up the field. His retention of the ball. He deserved his hat-trick. He
was a bit unlucky because Job had a couple of attempts right in front of goal that were blocked, or they just wouldn't fall for him. And
some good performances. You know, Jack Clark on this left-hand side, outstanding. Ekwa in the middle of the park, and the 2 centre backs there. You know, they were solid. 9 and Ballard.
Pritchard just applauding everybody on the halfway line, and players strolling around now applauding the crowd. Another fantastic crowd, 40,688 this afternoon. But there'll be a lot of relief at that victory, and they will hope to get someone in this week to give them some help further forward, because clearly in the early part of the game that was evident again that they needed someone up there.
You need an out-and-out striker. You know, Bellingham, he's done a job alongside Dak, but as I said, that's not the answer.
Callum Linton, drum man, good football, Sunderland. Thanks for everybody joining in.
Nearly everybody, apart from the Rotherham fans away to our left. Everybody goes home happy this evening from the Stadium of Light. It's finished here.
Hooray, can go out Northampton with my mag wife and mag stepson with a smile on my face. Thanks for the streamer, man. You're welcome, Richard, mate. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for everybody who's tuning in. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the likes, and thanks for the subscribers. We will be back for the next live match commentary.